look to carry those traditions through another season. This is Fighting Yo Football. This broadcast of Yo Football is brought to you in part by Cameron Autoplex, your Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer, Ebco Development, by Melanie Romine, your Edward Jones representative, Buckholz State Bank in Cameron, Buckholz, and Rogers, by Budget Host Inn and Suites, Cox's Heating and Air Conditioning, by Syntex Auto in Temple, Just Chiropractic of Temple, Denios Furniture, Flooring, and Fireplaces, by Citizens National Bank, Cameron Farm and Ranch Company, by Milam County Livestock Auction in Cameron, Temple Heat and Air, by Lisa Roden, your Germania Insurance Agent, Caliber Metal of Cameron, by Central Avenue Bistro in Cameron, Legacy Nursing and Rehabilitation, and by Standards Home Health. And now, it's game time with Brett Everhart and Kenny Driska.
Getting back in the club last week has the Cameron Yeomen, now looking at revenge tonight. The Yeomen taking to the road to meet up with the Troy Trojans in an effort to return the favor on the Trojans for a loss last year. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brett Everhart alongside Kenny Driska here in Troy tonight. The Yeomen got the bounce-back win they needed last week with a 37-19 victory over a surprising Academy team, and we're going to break that one down in a moment. We'll also look at the importance of tonight's game next, right here on the pregame show here on the Ranch.
Are you or a loved one in need of home health care? Wondering if you qualify for home health services? Call Standards Home Health for a free in-home consultation to evaluate your situation and to select a home health professional to care for you and your needs. And Standards Home Health is covered 100% by Medicare and accepts TRICARE, Scott & White Health Plan, and most major insurances. So don't wait. Get the care you deserve. Call Standards Home Health at 1-888-671-7007, 1-888-671-7007.
Caliber Metal in Cameron, Texas provides all your PBR panel, classic rib panel, and standing seam concealed fastener materials. We also cut standard and custom trim up to 21 feet. We have metal to metal and metal to wood screws, closures, pipe boots, and sealants. We have a quick turnaround with 20 colors in stock. Located at 106 South Washington Avenue, Cameron, Texas. Buy local 254-605-4110. And mention the Ranch 1051 and receive a 5% discount for new customers.
We are back on the pregame show tonight for Cameron versus Troy. We plan to break down the Trojans in a bit, but for now, let's get to last week, Kenny. We spent a good portion of the week leading up to the Academy game talking about physicality. Cameron really seemed to answer the bell in that win. Thoughts?
Yeah, Brett, no doubt. I know that was a big point of emphasis last week for Coach Bashir and his staff, and I think I thought anyways that it really showed from the outset last week, as we had not one but two backs with over 100 yards rushing each, in Keyshawn Johnson and Fabian Bynum, and I think that kind of set the tone for how we played defensively as well.
That was a win that Cameron had to have after the debacle against arch rival Rockdale a couple of weeks ago. So how important was it for Cameron to kind of get back to their winning ways?
Well, another thing we talked about last week was how a lot of people call, District 11-3A rather, that we're in the District of Doom or District of Death or whatever that people want to call it. So you definitely don't want to ever lose two in a row at any time if you have your eyes set at least a share of the district championship, so much as even making the playoffs, so it's a big deal.
I kind of still get the feeling this is a team that hasn't yet reached its peak. It's still kind of trying to find out how to close out and finish strong an entire game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've won some games throwing the ball. We've won some games running the ball. And so, I'm not sure we know 100% exactly, what our identity is yet, which, it sounds kind of crazy when you look at how late in the season we now are. But, you've got to remember that we didn't have a spring to prepare because of the COVID, and, we're still working at replacing, 20-something seniors off of last year's team. And many of those guys that are filling those roles are sophomores and a freshman. So, it's hard to say, this late in the season we're still a young team, but really we are.
We are, but you got to be getting to that point, too, though, at some point where it's no longer an excuse.
Yeah, you're right, and that's the thing is it's not an excuse. It's just, and I don't know. Sometimes I say it's a reason, and some people say, well, a reason is just an excuse by another name. But I think we've grown up a lot, and the great thing about it is we have grown up a lot. But the other great thing about it is we have been able to find other ways to win if one way or the other is not working. We just need to kind of settle on, I think, which one, what is it going to be that we're going to hang our hat on, and that's the thing that maybe last week we might have found out a little bit about ourselves.
Other side of the field for now, the Troy Trojans, meanwhile, have played well this year after an incredible run last year. A couple of key pieces have graduated, but the workhorse is still in the backfield and has been tremendous for them. Going to talk about him in a minute, but looking at Troy, they've played well in stretches and kind of kept themselves really at the top of the district so far. Yeah,
they have, and part of that is due to the experience that they gained last year, making such a nice run in the playoffs. When they went, I think it was to the regional finals against Grandview, those guys that are still, here in Troy, they gained some valuable experience there in that playoff run. And so, and that's something, we've seen plenty of ourselves over the years. And so, they're not ready to go quietly into the night just yet.
All right, well, I guess we can break it open now and go ahead and talk about it. Let's drop the name that we all know. That's Zach Urbachik. Of course, you can't talk about Troy without talking about him. He has been just an incredible revelation for the Trojans. Second in the nation, you heard that right, second in the nation in rushing yards. At tailback, averages over 275 yards a game, something like, umpteen touchdowns a game as well. I mean, he is everything for the Trojans. Everything goes through him.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty amazing. And as you mentioned, second in the nation in rushing. Think about that for a minute, Brett. That's every high school running back in the entire nation.
Regardless of classification.
Exactly, yeah. That's every high school running back in the United States of America. He's number 2 right now. That's absolutely incredible. And Brett, here's the other thing about that is he's second by less than 100 yards, I think. And the guy in front of him has already played one game more than he has this season.
Wow.
So, don't be surprised if he doesn't finish the season as number 1, However, all that being said, they did lose their quarterback from last year, the Jerlick kid. They lost their fullback and tight end and Sam Jones and Bo Workman. And those 3 guys were beasts as well, man. And not just on the offensive side of the ball either. Those guys were all over the field on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So, I definitely like the fact that it's all Urbachik tonight and not a 4-headed monster like it was last year.
It is a one-man show right now when you look at it, or at least that's what the numbers seem to tell you. Can Troy keep winning in a one-man show?
Well, obviously, they've done pretty well, and it really is a one-man show. I think he's something like 85% of their offense. That's almost, that's just ridiculous, and so, can they keep winning? Well, as long as he stays healthy, the one thing is you got a chance. But whether they can or not, I hope it ends for him here tonight.
So you're saying there's a chance. All right. Well, let's get into a breakdown. We talked to Coach Tommy Brashear, of course, on the Cameron Autoplex Coach Tommy Brashear show this morning. And let's get a breakdown on what Troy's going to do offensively.
Well, they're 2 back mostly. They will spread you out a little bit and get some 1 running back, but they're mostly 2 running backs and handing the ball to 21. They run some power, some counter, and some toss sweep, a little bit of lead ISO, and just a tiny bit of trap. That's a little different than last year. They were they were a little bit more diverse last year compared to this year. But like I said, it's been working pretty good for them. Anytime Urbachik's touching the ball, you can't really say they're making a bad call, in my opinion. Urbachik, 21, he's the running back. He's a senior this year. He's actually second in the nation, not the state, in the nation, for all running backs, all levels right now in rushing. So, doing a great job for him. Number 50, but, along with him, their O-line is dang good. And I'm going to tell you 4 of their O-linemen here. Okay. I don't normally have that many linemen. Number 55 O-line, he's only a sophomore, big old boy, does a great job for him. Number 75, May, another O-lineman. Number 76 on the O-line, Webb's his last name. He's probably their best O-lineman out of the bunch. And then number 57 on the O-line, Westbrook's his last name. And then the fullback, number 44, Martin. Like I said, they run a little bit with him, and he does a good job in the blocking part of the game as well. So they've got some good up-front guys that do a good job of creating some gaps and some holes for Urbachik to try and fit into. And when he sees that hole, he hits it hard.
All right, so that's a look at the offense, Kenny. And I was down on the field before the game watching some of the warm-ups and stuff, and you look at the size of Troy, that is a potential problem for the Yeomen, who have typically always been undersized.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a couple of schools in our district, Troy and Academy being two of them, that traditionally have, pretty massive linemen. And that is something that's always kind of been an issue for us. But we're going to make up for that in other areas, and that is speed. Overall team speed. Yeah, Herbachik is extremely fast, but overall, I like our team speed versus their team speed. And you can't coach a kid to be bigger than he is, but you also can't coach him to be faster than he is. So
that's fair. All right, let's see what he has to say about the defense.
Number 10, the linebacker, Workman. He's the younger Workman. His older brother graduated last year. He's a really good player for him, inside linebacker. Number 57 on the D-line, Westbrook, also starts on the O-line. Probably their best defensive lineman, but they'll rotate those other guys I mentioned in there as well. And they've got some other guys. It's a D-line where they really do most of the rotating. Herbachik plays a little bit of safety for him at times, but he doesn't normally start over there. He may tonight, I don't know, but he doesn't normally start on defense. But then number 4, cornerback Jackson's probably their best guy in the secondary as well. So, I mean, they've got some decent players over there that can do some things. So, we need to know where those guys are and call plays accordingly.
So defense has been fairly basic for the Trojans. It's also kind of a work in progress, I guess, as the best way to describe it. They've been in a lot of high-scoring games, and I'm not talking about scoring a lot of points. They've given up a lot of points as well, especially here in district play. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I would guess. Offense has been outstanding, rightfully so, with Herbachik leading the way, but defense has been kind of porous.
Yeah, as I said, they're definitely missing the Jerlick and the older Workmen and the Jones kids that graduated last year. Those guys were some dang good players on the defensive side of the ball as well. And I also think that while Herbachik is probably the fastest guy on the field tonight, we were talking about spikes, and Herbachik might be the fastest guy on the field tonight. But he can't cover spikes on one side if he's out there defensively and Hemphill on the other and Bynum in the middle. That's too much for any one guy to do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're probably right on that one. He unless he clones himself.
Yeah. I tell you what, me and those 3 guys would be a pretty decent sprint relay, and I can't run out of sight in 4 days.
Well, we've been breaking down the Troy Trojans here tonight. Kickoff is approaching at the Trojan Stadium here in Troy, and so we're going to take a break here. We'll come back with more on the pregame show in a moment.
Denio's Furniture, Flooring, and Fireplaces offers the best selection on name-brand furniture like Lazy Boy recliners, sofas and love seats, Simmons mattresses, Mohawk and Shaw flooring, and Fireplace Extraordinaire fireplaces. If you haven't been to Denio's lately, visit their showroom on Highway 77, 1 mile north of Cameron. New inventory arriving daily. Denio's, your best choice for furniture and flooring in Milam County. Denio's Furniture, Flooring, and Fireplaces. Proud to support Yeoman Athletics, a winning tradition.
Hi, I'm Jason Donalik from Edco Development in Cameron. Okay, so one of those bargain home improvement workers hurt himself on the job. Who pays? You do, because his low prices don't include insurance for problems like that. So you think you got a bargain? Wrong answer. So why take chances? Edco Development has been there for you since 1984. Remodeling, new construction, roofing, and more. Call us first. We're Edco Development. 254-697-2186. 697-2186.
Welcome back to the final minutes of our pregame show. Cameron preparing to meet the Troy Trojans here on the road. And we open our broadcast talking about revenge, Kenny. So it's what Cameron's kind of seeking here, right? After losing for the first time in school history last year?
Well, that's one of those things that it'll definitely stick in your craw a little bit. It's gonna wear at you a little bit. And you might think about it during the week some, during practice and stuff. And I'm sure, coaches probably put some, clippings up on the bulletin board and that kind of thing. But, once the ball gets teed up and a foot put to it tonight, I think that's all out the window.
I mean, does it really matter? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, does it? Or does it?
As I said a moment ago, it's last year. That's old news. This is a new day. We can't go back and change last year. And so I think all the focus is on the field tonight. Not to mention the fact that we've got a lot of new faces out there tonight that weren't on the field last year. And so it doesn't necessarily resonate with them like it would if we were returning 25 seniors versus having graduated about that many last year.
I mean, you were a player. Is it a motivator?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a motivator. You never want to. Well, you never want to lose. Period. You sure don't want to lose to somebody 2 times in a row, and it's dang sure going to hack you off that you've never lost to a team before, and all of a sudden, boom, you do lose to them. You never want to be. You never want to be that first on the negative side of something happening. And so the guys that were part of that team last year, they're still part of the Cameron Yeoman tonight. They might have a little bit of PO factor.
I think that's a fair assessment. All right, before we get to our keys to the game, let's pose one more question to you here, and that is regarding Zach Urbache. I asked the same question of Tommy Brashear this morning. I said, what is a success in stopping Zach Urbache? What is it? What constitutes success?
Some of us at work the other day were kind of kicking this same question around, what is it, and somebody said, if you can hold him to 2 or 3 scores, that's pretty good. And I'm not sure that really, that to me, if you can hold him to 2 scores, that might be great. I think if you can hold him to 4 scores, you got a chance to win the ball game. And that sounds crazy that you think, we're going to let a running back get 4 scores on us. But, the guy is that good. And I'll say this a little bit about him too. He's a little bit of a different type of runner than a lot of speed type guys are, in that a lot of speed type guys, they want to get the ball in their hands and they want to get to the edge and go. I call this guy Captain Cutback. He is like the king of the cutback move, man. He takes that toss and he starts out there and he sees a little gap back to the inside, and boom, he's right there back through it, and he'll make 2 or 3 cuts, before he tries to break free. So he definitely a little bit of a different type runner. What constitutes success, ultimately the scoreboard at the end of the night, I guess, if the guy gets, 600 yards and scores 7 touchdowns and we beat him 50-49, I don't know. Maybe that's not success. I don't know. But, I think, if you can hold him under 200 yards, to me, that's a major success. When the guy's averaging, almost 300, to hold somebody, 100 yards below their average, that's pretty impressive.
You would think, you would think so. And so hopefully that is something you can lead to a win. All right, let's get to some keys to the ball game here tonight. Our pregame keys tonight brought to you by Mark Burns Laywell Funeral Home, serving Central Texas families since 1908. All right, what are our 3 keys to victory? Yeah,
I think the first one is we gotta establish the run like we did last week by being physical. Get Johnson and Bynum going early, soften them up a little bit so that we can utilize the passing game when we want to versus when we have to, and Johnson and Bynum, for our listeners that have been able to see them play in person or been able to watch them on the live stream, they're a little bit different in their running style too. They're kind of a thunder and lightning, I would call them, with Johnson being the thunder and Bynum being the lightning. Johnson's a little bigger back, more of a bruising style runner, and Bynum is definitely a speedster, and if he can get an edge or a gap or somewhere, he's the kind of guy that can take it to the house from any play of the game. So I think that's the first thing is to establish that run like we did last week. And then on the other side, we've got to corral Urbache as much as possible, like we were talking about a minute ago. Obviously he's a great player, and he's probably going to break a time or two, but if we can keep him corralled at least a little bit, then I like our chances. And to do that, we're going to have to play gap control, assignment football, because, like I said a minute ago too, while he is as fast as Grease Lightning, his running style is a little bit different, being such a huge cutback guy. And so, if we can prevent that cutback, then I think we can slow him down enough to win there, and then the other thing is we have to play smart like we did last week. We really limited our penalties last week. We limited our, personal fouls last week. I don't think we had a personal foul last week. They lost their temper and got some late and that kind of stuff, and so we need to be on the right side of all of those type of intangible type things as well.
Yeah, I feel like if you get into a close game, you definitely, this is one of those teams that you can't afford any kind of penalty like that.
Yeah, because, while Herbanchik can break from anywhere, their offense is not typically designed as a big play offense. It's more of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type offense, running the slot T type offense. We've seen so much of this year, just as out of ordinary, but it's just the way that our schedule's worked out, I guess. But if teams like that, if you get a penalty and instead of 3rd and 3 and you've got 3rd and 13, well, a lot of times they don't have a play for 3rd and 13 in their playbook because everything's designed to go 4 yards. Now again, Herbanchik can, he's a little bit of a game changer in that respect. But if you can at least play smart and limit those type of things, silly issues, then that can go a big way, to winning the ball game.
All right, are you expecting low scoring or a track meet?
Oh, I'd be shocked. I mean, I don't know what the over-under would be on this game, but I would put it at, golly, the over-under could easily be 95.
Ooh, track meet.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me at all to see to see us win this ball game, 52 to 45.
All right, well, we will find out here in just a couple of minutes. 2 teams have taken the field. Let's get to our starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Barrel Bump Smokers, specializing in customized, ugly drum-style smokers. You can find them on Facebook and check out the latest designs and everything else that they can do, which is pretty incredible stuff. Offensively for the Cameron Yeoman, the receivers will be Pharrell Hempill, Zachorian Spikes, Fabian Bynum, and Kason Goolsby. The offensive line will be Colby Carranza, Cash Kellner, Hunter Hux, Garfield England, and Colby Artie. The quarterback is Zane Zidert, and the running back getting the start tonight is Keyshawn Johnson. On defense, on the line, it's going to be Eduardo Gill, Jacoby Bailey, and Carlos Salomon. The linebackers, Trent Nix, Colton Barbeau, Fabian Salomon, and Armando Reyes. The cornerbacks, Iverson Brazil and Riley Flores. The safeties, Kason Goolsby and Landon Green. We now have our national anthem coming up. Right there that is the Troy Trojans band bringing that to you. And all right, as we got through our starting lineups, brought to you by Barrel Bump Smokers. Again, check out their social media accounts for the coolest in ugly drum style smokers. We've got also want to point out that we are streaming and live on the internet at KMIL.com. The audio stream available there. You can just click on the listen live buttons on the website. It's also on iOS and Android. Of course, I also want to thank the folks over at SportPixUSA.net. That's Calvin and his son, who are doing all the video, everything over there. He's got, I don't know, about umpteen million computers and video screens over there that he's doing everything with it, making everything look good. Wonderful work that he's been doing all year long, and very, very happy and excited to continue that. Meanwhile, we've got the coin toss going on. As with our coin toss, Trojans have won and elected to defer. Cameron will receive the football. That coin flip brought to you by Juan's Mexican Restaurant. And so, Cameron is going to be getting the football first here tonight.
Juan's Mexican, Brett, that's the home of the Mr. Mac taco. I know you met Mr. Mac last week.
I did.
So if you haven't heard the story on the Mr. Mac taco, we'll have to get you the story off the air one day.
Yeah, that I will need to know about that. All right, got our opening kickoff coming up as we've gotten through the coin toss. Opening kickoff coming up, brought to you by A&R Cattle Company in Burlington. The Trojans, here's where they come out onto the field with the special teams unit going to be in maroon jerseys, maroon pants. I believe that's a white stripe down the leg, but it looks to be silver numbers. Is that silver or gray, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I would call it silver, I think, yeah. Dressed in their all maroon, and I think we're going to squish them like a grape.
Also looks like they've got the pink stripe on the helmet for breast cancer awareness, which, of course, Ladio volleyball team just took part in the Dig Pink game to support that. Yeah,
and it was against Troy. They fell 3-1, but, man, that was a good ball game against the number 7 team in the state.
Kickoff coming here to the Yeoman. That'll be fielded at the 25-yard line. Makes a move around there, and then we'll come across the 30 before being upended at about the 35-yard line. Make that the 36.
And that was Kason Goolsby. He's kind of one of the intermediate depth guys and not one of the deep guys. Nobody will kick it deep to our speedsters back there, so we can't employ our traditional kind of reverse or fake reverse kickoff return. But he kind of started one way like he was going to try to do that and said never mind, I'm going back the way I came from.
Actually worked out to his advantage, I think, cutting back. And so the Yeoman will set up shop. It'll be 1st and 10. They're going to have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Moving from right to left on the radio dial. It's going to be a 2-receiver set to the left side, 1 to the right. One man in the backfield now make it 2 as he comes in motion. They will toss it to him in the backfield, but he is going to be drugged down in the backfield, caught from behind at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, kind of a speed sweep type play where Ziner just pitches it out to Goolsby in front of him. So if, he were to drop it or something like that, it would just go as an incomplete pass. So that goes down as, I guess, a pass for a loss of about, 7 yards.
At 7-yard loss, it'll be 2nd down and 17 for the Yeoman. 11:26 to go and counting down. It's three receivers off to the left side this time for Ziner, who's going to fake a handoff and throw. That's for the screen with that ball dropped.
Wow, that was the bubble screen to Bynum out there in the trip set. And, man, ball just hit him right in the hands. And I don't know if he was looking upfield, planning out how many yards he was going to get or what, but just bounced right off his hands there.
Now it's going to be 3rd and long for the offense here. Ball's at their own 29-yard line from the far hash mark. Twins to either side for Ziner this time. Takes a snap, looking to throw, looking left, lets one go. That one's a high throw. That is well out of reach of anybody and into the bench, in fact, of the Trojans.
He had his outside receiver ran a go pattern type deal there, and his inside receiver ran an out. And so I don't know if it looked like he was trying to hit the inside receiver on the out, and he just floated wide on him.
So the incomplete pass stops the clock. 11-12 is where it stands here in our first quarter, which, by the way, is brought to you by Rafter P Trucking. Yeoman forced into a punt here. 4th down and 17 from the 29. One man is back, and that is a stud for Troy as the punt will, I think they got a hand on that, will be an angled punt. It's going to be away from Hrabacic, and it goes out of bounds near the 30.
Did they get a hand on that? I didn't see that, Brett.
Looked like almost.
But it was definitely an angle punt with a nice spiral into the wind there, and about as good as punt as you could get into the wind, and with the rush coming and everything there. Not bad at all.
Well, worked out nicely, at least in the Yeoman's favor. 1st and 10 now for the Trojans. We'll get our first look at the Troy offense as they set up at the 32-yard line. They'll move from left to right on the radio dial.
And I tell you, Hrabacic's not a big guy, Brett, but he does have some good-looking thighs on him. I mean, he's thick in the thigh for sure.
With 11:04 on the clock, Trojans will come out with an I formation. 2 receivers to the left side. And it will be Hrabacic. Bounces around the left side, spins, and will go down for a yard gain.
It's just their zone play over that left-hand side. They're just trying to get more guys out there with that kind of tight bunch receiver set out there than we got, see if they can outnumber us, and he can find one of those gaps that I talked about in the pregame and cut back and find a seam and go.
So 10:40 and counting down here in the Rafter P Trucking first quarter. 2nd down and 9 coming for the Trojans. Troy comes out in a bunch again. They'll back off to the right side with Hrabacic, the deep man. Hands to the up man. That fullback able to fight forward, still on his feet, but will pick up about 6 yards there.
It's kind of what we used to call a sweep trap, where you're faking the sweep play to Herbacic and you handed it to that like on that trap play coming back up underneath to the inside there. You use that good running back there to try to draw the defense's eyes away from what you're actually doing there.
Looks like the Trojans may be running plays on between plays. One man gets subbed every play. It is a 3rd down and short here for the Trojans. And they'll give it to Herbacic up the middle. He's up near the line of scrimmage. Got to be just shy, though, of a 1st down as the Yeomen stand tough.
Yeah, he made a yard or two there, but, Eduardo Gill made a big push there right at the snap of the ball. I mean, he timed the snap perfectly and had a big push. It kind of worried me there because when he did, he kind of created a gap right where Gill was running. But luckily we had a couple other Yeomen step up and get a handle on him before he was able to cross that 1st down stick.
Clock is running. Inside of 9:15, and the Trojans lining up to go for it. I formation on 4th and 1. And it's a handoff to Herbacic. He is going to be fighting his way through traffic, and he's got enough for the 1st down. Picked up a nifty yardage, about 5.
They're just, again, they're loading up on that, what is the offensive left side of the line of scrimmage, and just trying to outman us over there and just, hoping that Herbacic can get in there and then break free.
Inside of 9 minutes to go here in this Rafter P Trucking first quarter. We're scoreless here in Troy. Trojans have the football. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Yeomen have everybody within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're going to have a toss over to Herbacic. He's weaving through traffic, finally gets touched and picks up 9 yards on the carry.
Yeah, he's going to be just short of the 1st there, I think. No, actually, they gave him 1st down on that, so he must have picked up right at the 10. But just a little toss sweep there, and Landon Green did a good job of forcing him back to the inside. And we've got to get a couple more defenders in there to shore up that gap.
Coming up on 8:20 to go here in this first quarter. Still scoreless. Trojans have the football on the move and in Yo territory at the Yo 44-yard line. Herbacic, the long deep back. They send fullback over to the left side. And Herbacic will take it up the right side, breaks through one tackle, through another arm tackle, still on his feet and going. He's going to be up towards the 20-yard line where he goes down.
Just kind of an isolation lead play there with the backside guard pulling around on a fold block and getting up on our linebackers there. And so, man, you got to be careful. You let Herbacic get rolling right there. We were very lucky that he didn't break that one for 6 right there.
So a 1st and 10 for the Trojans. They'll have the ball in the red zone at the 20-yard line. Inside of 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Trojans to the I formation. Single receiver off to the left side. And another handoff here for Herbacic. Around the right side this time, but bottled up quickly and maybe a yard gain.
Nice job there by Fabian Solomon of filling the gap on that isolation lead play.
Less than 7.5 to go in this Rafter P Trucking first quarter. It's going to be a 2nd and 9 for the Trojans from the 19-yard line of the Cameron Yeomen. Yeomen in all white here tonight with maroon lettering. White helmets.
Love the icy whites.
Trojans taking their time, coming out of the huddle now. 10 seconds on the play clock. There is no tailback, although they had Herbacic. They will hand off to the fullback. He is going to pick up nice yards. Sends Herbacic around on he had lined up in wide receiver, got sent in motion sort of as a decoy. They hand off to the fullback who went up the middle and picked up about 4 or 5 yards there.
Yeah, again, trying to use Herbacic as some eye candy there to draw the defense's eyes away from what they're actually doing. Man, they've already handed the ball off to Martin twice this series, Brett. That might be, average per game for him.
So from the 12-yard line now, it'll be a 3rd down for the Trojans, 3rd and 2. And a handoff for Herbacic, cuts back to the left side, but he will be caught there and goes down. I think he lost a yard.
Yeah, I think so. They really did a good job of kind of blocking down and walling us off right there. But I think that was Colton Barbo that came flying in right there and made the tackle for about a loss of a yard. I missed the number on that young man, but man, he did a great job of filling the gap.
Less than 6 minutes to go in the Rafter P Trucking first quarter. Still scoreless in this one. 4th down and 3 for the Trojans. The deep back is Herbacic, single receivers to each side. And will be for Herbacic around the left side. But I think the Yeomen They have stood them up right at the first down to go marker, and they are going to end up with the football.
Yeah, great job right there. Just a isolation lead, or a zone play rather, there over the left-hand side, and they're just trying to get a hat on a hat and trying to find a gap for Herbacic to get to. But we did a great job of playing assignments right there, and he had nowhere to go.
So the Yo defense able to hold in the red zone, and it's a turnover on downs by the Trojans. It'll be 1st and 10 for Cameron from the 11-yard line. And after a slow start on that first series, Yeoman will look to try to get things moving here. 5:44 on the clock here in this Raptor P Trucking first quarter. Two receivers off to the right side for Zeinert. He's got enough back and a tailback. It's going to be a handoff. Bynum works his way through the line of scrimmage up across the 15. Got about to the 17-yard line.
And Bynum doing his best Zach Herbacic impersonation right there. We just did the same thing they've been doing to us. They ran the isolation, just a zone play over the left-hand side. We got a hat on a hat, and he found a gap and made a nice little gain out of it.
Picked up 6 on the carry. It'll be a 2nd down and short for the Yeoman, and 4. Two receivers off to the right side for Zeinert. That's another handoff here for Bynum, trying to fight through. He's going to end up maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard. He did lose a yard.
Yeah, I think he lost a yard and a half there. Again, it was the zone over the left-hand side, and he didn't like it, and he tried to cut it back, but I think that was probably the wrong decision there because that's not where the blocking is.
Brings up 3rd down and 5 for Cameron. 4:47 on the clock. This is a scoreless ball game here in the first quarter. Here in Troy. 3 receivers to the right side this time for Zeinert. He's got one to the left. He's looking to his right. He's going to go that way. Lets it go. That ball's going to be a high pass that will be caught near midfield.
What an incredible catch by Zachorian Spikes right there. We just dropped back and threw it. Zane just dropped back and threw it as far as he could and let Zachorian run underneath it there. The cornerback number 4 for Troy, Steven Jackson, had outstanding position on Spikes, and Spikes just went up over the top of him and took it away for the big gain in the first down.
Centex Auto first down, a 37-yard pass to Spikes. With 4:16, the Yeoman have reached the Trojan side of the field for the first time here tonight. 1st and 10 with 4 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Single receiver off to the right, 2 to the left. They're going to be a handoff around the right side, but Bynum's got nowhere to go and lost about 3 yards.
Troy had a run stunt on there with their linebackers. They were coming right up the gut, but they also still had some outside contain there, and so Bynum wasn't able to turn the corner and wasn't able to get a gap there, and unfortunately lost a few yards.
So a 2nd down and 13 coming up.
2nd and 13.
With the Yeoman here. Ball is going to be back on the Yo side from their own 49. 2 receivers. To Zeinert's left. He's going to have 2 off to his right. 1 man in the backfield with him. That's to his right. Zeinert going to roll to his left. Rolling, still rolling. Now dumps one off. That ball, though, is too hard and incomplete.
We're trying to get him out of the pocket there with Keyshawn Johnson kind of leading the way, providing a little bit of extra protection there with a couple of out patterns, one kind of deeper and one shorter there. And just pretty good coverage by the Troy Trojans.
3:55 is what's on the clock left here in the Raptor P Trucking first quarter. Yeoman facing now 3rd and 13. Twins to either side for Zeinert here. He's got 1 man in the backfield. A big 3rd down here from their own 49-yard line. Scoreless ball game. Takes a snap, and he's under pressure. It's going to be the screen, but that ball's going to be tipped and incomplete.
Oh, my gosh, Brett. We had the absolute perfect call there with them stunning, and we had the screen set up. Keyshawn just didn't turn his head quite quick enough. He didn't see the stunt coming, and so he didn't realize the pass was going to be coming as quickly as it was.
It's going to force a punting situation for the Yeoman on 4th and 13 from their own 49-yard line. Herbacic back at his own 20, leading to receive. There's the snap and the punt. That's going to be a good one. Going to be angled high. A bounce about the 20. And we'll take a bounce inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line, which is where the Yeoman will down it.
Yeah, great job of punt coverage right there by the Yeoman. Zane angled it and got it up high enough that we were able to get some coverage guys down there. They had no chance at a return, and we got a nice little bounce, got a few more yards out of it right there.
So, with 3:40 on the clock, near the Rafter P Trucking first quarter, we remain scoreless here in Troy. Trojans have the football from their own 15-yard line, first down and 10. Bachik is the D-man, and he will get the football. Cuts back, another cut back, breaks a tackle, and then finally goes down. But across the 20-yard line of the 22. A nice game.
Yeah, saving tackle there by Ladorian Knight, young man that kind of broke out and got a lot of playing time in the secondary last week, I think it was. At least I think that's who that was, if I'm reading the number right. They're just trying to get more guys on that side of the line of scrimmage than we do, and just try to mash us as hard as they can.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in this quarter. Second down and 3 for the Trojans. They've got 2 receivers out to the left side in I formation. And this time we've got flags here. Penalty against the Trojans will back them up on what was second and short. So far in this game, Urbachik has had the call 9 out of 11 plays.
Nothing unusual there.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's right at about 85%, isn't it? 80-something percent, probably.
I was not a math major. So
9 out of 10 would be 90%,
Yes,
so
right.
9 out of 11 has got to be a little bit less than that.
I would guess so. 2:40 is coming up on the clock here. 2 receivers again off the right side this time as Urbachik will get the call. Around the left side he comes, and he's going to get about 3 yards on that carry to the 20-yard line.
I tell you, for a young man that's as small as he is, they really try to run him in between the tackles a lot, not just trying to get the edge. And it's kind of like we talked about earlier. They're trying to find some gaps in there for him to be able to cut back through.
So on third down now and 6 for the Trojans. Just a couple of minutes to go here left in this quarter. The opening stanza of 4 here in Troy. We are scoreless in this one. Both teams still with 3 timeouts. On 3rd and 6 from their own 19-yard line. Urbachik gets the handoff as a flag comes flying. They picked up 3 yards again.
But stop them there. Bring up about 4th and 2 on their own 23-yard line.
And again, you've got the flag, so we'll see what this is about.
Encroachment.
So a penalty against the Yeoman this time. And that will give them a 3rd and short. 3rd and 1.
That's a shame there because we definitely had him in a punting situation there.
So 3rd and 1 for the Trojans. 1:45 on the clock and counting down. Clock is running. Troy comes to the line here. I formation, 2 receivers to the left side. Urbachik gets the call. Left side he goes, and he's going to be falling forward across the first down marker up close to the 30-yard line, so he picked up about 4.
We talked about in pregame, how big their offensive line was, Brett, and those guys are doing a really good job. We're a little undersized in that regard for sure with our defensive line, and so they're just kind of trying to mash us right now. But our guys are hanging tough. I'm proud of them.
First down and 10 for the Trojans from their own 28-yard line. Single receivers to each side, but it's Urbachik again. Fights his way through the line. Now he's got a burst of speed here up across midfield, and he finally trips up and goes down near the 45 to actually about the Yo 47.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do right there. Is get that guy through the gap as quick as they can and see if he can break. Luckily there we had a couple guys with a beat on him and able to get him down on the ground.
1st and 10, less than a minute to go here in this first quarter. Got 45 seconds and counting down.
Big number 75, Brady Mays from Troy did come out after that play though.
Long back is Urbachik. Instead it'll be the fullback. He'll get the call here as Hunter Martin takes it forward for a couple of yards to the Yo 45-yard line.
And I'm going to say that's probably going to be the last play of the quarter.
I think that could be.
They don't look like they're in any hurry to call a play here. And so we're going to be 0-0 at the end of the first quarter after my over-under pick of 95.
Yeah.
Shows you what an expert I am, Brad.
You and me both. All right. We are going to see the final play right there, so that was going to be it, and that will end the Rafter P Trucking first quarter. We are scoreless here in Troy. The Trojans have the football. We'll be back for the second quarter coming up. This is Yo Football on 105 on the Ranch.
It's your home away from home. The Budget Host Inn and Suites. Cable TV with flat screen LCD HD TV in each room. Guest laundry, fitness center, and pool. The Southern hospitality at Budget Host Inn and Suites shows through. They can accommodate your next business meeting in their meeting room and business center. Romantic getaway? Book a jacuzzi suite. So if it's a business trip, romantic getaway, or you just need a place to stay for the night, the Budget Host Inn and Suites in Cameron has a room for you. 102 Lafferty Avenue. Call 254-605-0610. BudgetHostCameron.com.
Coming into our second quarter here on 105 on the Ranch. Our quarter tonight, the second quarter brought to you by Barrel Bump Smokers. That's those easy-to-use, customized, ugly drum-style smokers. They are locally owned and operated and also reasonably priced. You need to give them a call at 979-220-6147. You can also visit their Facebook page to get the latest and see the coolest in designs. I mean, they can do some amazing things with those smokers. They're also super easy to use. If you've ever wanted to smoke something and wanted to take the hassle out of it, they're the folks to call. Start of the second quarter now, scoreless ball game. Handoff for Urbachik here on the first play to start the quarter, and he will power his way forward for a couple of yards.
Yeah, about 1 or 2 yard gain there, so let's bring up, is it 3rd and 6 now? Just trying to find a gap up the center there, and so far the Yo defense has done a good job of clogging it up.
So here in this second quarter from Barrel Bump Smokers, again, we are scoreless. It's 3rd down and 6 here for the Trojans. They're on the O side of the field at the 43-yard line. Urbachik's the lead man. The single receiver stacked high, but instead it's going to be a toss. The sweep around the left side, but he is going to find little to no running room. They stack him up, spin him around, and then drop him. But he's going to get credit for forward progress for 2 yards.
Nice job there by Trenton Nix at the defensive line position of just really trying to work his way outside. And then Fabian Solomon and Randy Flores coming up and getting a hand on Urbachik. And they almost ripped the ball out of his hand there. We were real close to creating a turnover.
So 4th and 4. We have yet to see the punting unit for Troy, and I don't think we're going to see them again here.
And you got Urbachik lining up out at the wide receiver spot.
On 4th and 4. This time to the fullback, and he's got a huge hole up the middle, and he powers forward. He picked up about 10 yards on the carry. That was Big 44. That was Hunter Martin.
You know, and they've done that. They've run that play a couple of times, Brett, where they're sending Urbachik in motion, you know, trying to draw your eyes away from what they're actually going to do. And that's what they did right there, you know, send him in motion and brought number 44 back up underneath there for the nice little first down gain.
Coming up on 10:15 left before halftime. It's scoreless, but the Trojans on the move. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line of Cameron. Single receivers to each side. Urbachik's the deep man against the football, and he is going to go through the line of scrimmage, and he's going to pick up nice yards. Got about 6 on the carry.
Yeoman lucky again right there because I'm saying he's very close to breaking that one right there. And you know, Nix and Bailey and Gill and Solomon are down there in that defensive line trenches. Those guys are going to be getting tired here pretty quick because Troy's hammering on.
9.5 to go before halftime. 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard carry on 1st down. Now Urbachik yet again. This time, though, he'll be drugged down from behind. Lost a yard.
Great job by Eduardo Gill on the backside. Man, he had a great rush and just pursued down the line of scrimmage and caught Urbachik from behind. And that's not something you're going to hear any announcer say very often.
I don't think so, especially not a lineman typically.
Yeah.
3rd down and 5 now for Troy. 9:05 to go and counting down. We're still scoreless here in the first half between Cameron and Troy in a huge District 11 3A clash. On 3rd down, Trojans come to the line. It'll be in a pistol formation, or shotgun actually. Second, I thought tailback was lined up to his behind him, but instead right up to the right. He gets the handoff and has nowhere to go. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
And again, they split Herbachik out wide, try to use him as a bit of a decoy to give it to Martin up the middle there, who's, shown tonight already that, he can make some positive yardage, but Gill was having none of it.
Well, here's an interesting spot coming up for the Trojans. We've yet to see special teams on anything for fourth down. Here they are, 4th and 5 at the Yo 28-yard line. Clock is continuing to roll. Play clock's inside of 7. Now coming to the line. Inside of 8 minutes to go before halftime.
They're going to get you got a delay, yeah.
Coach having to take a timeout. So Ronnie Porter does the smart thing. Head coach for the Trojans calls the timeout as they were running out of time to get to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a timeout for the Trojans. We're scoreless here in the second quarter, brought to you by Barrel Bump Smokers. We're taking a 30-second timeout. We're back in a moment.
This is Brad Vosselin with Cameron Farm and Ranch Company. We realize firsthand all the hard work and dedication that all high school students put in to perform their best on game day. We also know how hard producers work to keep their livestock and crops performing at their best. Stop in and we'll find the tools you need to keep your animals in shape and performing well. At Cameron Farm and Ranch, we're in the game on 4th and inches. And around here, when we say go yo, we mean
go yo!
Back here on the Barrel Bums Smokers second quarter with 8 minutes to go before we get to halftime. We are scoreless here in the first half. It's a 4th and 5 facing the Troy Trojans from the Yo 28-yard line. So in Yo territory, the Trojans have yet to bring out any special teams. They have gone for 4th down just about every possible time they have the chance. They're going to do it again. Shotgun formation, twin receivers to either side here. Herbachik is the tailback, but they're not going to give it to him. It's going to be a quick slant, but that ball is incomplete. He, I think, was sensing something.
Yeah, they were throwing it to Herbachik for sure, but Fabian Solomon came up and put a lick on him right at the same time as the ball got there. So great job there by the Yo defense, bending but not breaking.
So it will be a turnover on downs. The game remains scoreless. Yo offense will now take the field. Their first possession of the second quarter. 7:57 on the clock. 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Yo would have had trouble moving the football here with the exception of a long pass play. Trips off to the right side as they move from left to right on the radio dial. And now looks like timeout coming from the other side. The Yeomen take one here. We'll take one with them. We're back in 30 seconds.
So you're feeling out of alignment. Don't ignore the signs and think maybe they'll go away. Head straight to Just Chiropractic in Temple and see Dr. Barbara Proctor. With over 20 years experience, she'll get you adjusted and on your way with no hassles, contracts, or startup costs. Just Chiropractic is the home of the affordable adjustment, offering $20 final adjustments anytime. No appointments necessary and no insurance needed. It's Just Chiropractic, located at 1915 West Avenue in Mid-Temple, or call 254-791-5045.
All right, welcome back here. 7:57 here on the clock. Here in this Barrel Bump Smokers second quarter. Yo coming out of a timeout, 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Moving left to right on the radio dial here in this second quarter. It strips off to the right side for Zeinert. One man alone to the left. And the tailback to the right of Zeinert. Surveying the field. Takes a snap. And it's going to be the option. Quarterback's going to keep it, though, on the read, and he's got nowhere to go this time. He's going to be stacked up and dropped for a big loss, about 3-4 yards.
Yeah, he did a good job of riding it into Johnson's pocket right there. We're missing a couple of blocks right there. They've kind of got a little 3-man stunt working up front that we're going to have to do a better job of picking up.
So a 3-yard loss, 2nd and 13 for the Yeomen, going the wrong direction right now. Trips again to the short side of the field, off to Zeinert's right. Looking to throw this time. Steps up, throws. He's got a man. That's caught at the 40-yard line and immediately goes down. That is going to be enough for a Centex Auto first down at a 15-yard pass.
Great post pattern there by Pharrell Hemphill, and Ziner just hit him right in stride for the first down. Nice execution of the play right there.
Still scoreless here in the Barrel Bump Smokers second quarter. 7 minutes to go before halftime. Yeoman just got the Centex Auto first down from their own 40-yard line. First down and 10. The wind's off to the left side as it will be a handoff. And Bynum looking around the left side, finds a hole. Down the sideline he goes, across the 40. There's the 30. Got one man to beat. The 20, the 10, 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Yeoman.
Just that zone play that we've run so many times. And, you know, we kind of snuck Hemphill into the backfield right there. And, man, he got the corner. And when he gets the corner, it's off to the races.
From 59 yards out, the Yeomen have struck first in this one. Now trying for a Crier collision extra point. There's the hold, the kick. That is up and good, and your Crier collision extra point is good. That's for all your auto body repair needs. Call Crier Collision at 697-2122. You can also stop by 3003 North Travis in Cameron. Their score is 7-0. It's the Yeomen leading Troy in Troy. 6:42 to go before halftime. This is Yo Football at 105 on the Ranch.
The Grand Power Days at Cameron Autoplex in Cameron, Texas. The 2021 models will be arriving soon, and we still have a great selection of 2020 ramps to choose from. Hurry in and save $10,000 off MSRP on a fully loaded Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab. Plus, competitive pickup owners get an additional $1,000 off. Or how about $6,000 off that new diesel to pull that new RV or boat? Grand Power Days won't last much longer, so make that short drive and see why. Everyone says it's always cheaper and friendlier in Cameron.
The score is 7-0. The Yeomen out in front. 6:42 on the clock here in the Barrel Bump Smokers second quarter as we get to our Don's Painted Body scoring drive. With more than 20 years experience in taking the dents out of accidents, go see Don's Painted Body on West 4th across from Brookshire Brothers. 3 plays, 72 yards is the drive, and it ends on a 59-yard run by Pharrell Hemphill. The extra point was good. 7-0 is again the new score. Yeoman will now have to kick off to the Trojans.
And with the speedy Herbacik back deep, I would expect for the Yeoman to employ the angle kick here.
I do believe so. 6:42 as they kick this one off, and it's going to be a short, high kick. That will be fielded over his shoulder at the 30-yard line. Spins around and picks up about 4 yards of tough returning.
Yeah, pretty good execution by the Yeoman on that there. Kick was really high, and the young man kind of had to catch it going backwards there, and wasn't able to get going there, and we were able to get a swarm of Cougars on him, or Yeoman on him right away.
6:36 to go now. Trojans have the football. They'll take it at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Trojans now moving right to left. They're being stumped a couple of times on 4th down here in his first half. And the I formation, pitch to Herbacik around the left side, cuts upfield on the right at the right time and picks up 4 yards on what looked like the Yeomen were going to be working towards trying to bring him down in the backfield. But what a beautiful cut in the backfield.
Yeah, you know, he's the king of cutback, and that was just a toss sweep right there, and he found him a little gap and cut it back. And Fabian Solomon did a really nice job of getting a hold of him and not letting him get any more than he did.
2nd down and 6. Ball from the 39-yard line of the Trojans. Clock coming up on 6 minutes to go before halftime. 2 receivers off to the left side for Troy. They're going to hand off to Martin, the fullback, and he is just going to punish his way forward. Picks up 6 yards. Got right to the first down marker at the 45-yard line.
And Fabian Solomon comes out of the pile with the ball in his hand. I think he ripped it out of the guy's hand before he ever went down. I don't know that the officials ever saw it.
Yeomen have said they have it, but they've...
I don't know how the officials didn't see it if they didn't, but...
Yeomen still has the football.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, Brett. That's not good officiating right there. I hate being that guy, but wow.
That is an interesting call for sure. It ends up as a first down for the Trojans. Somehow Yeoman came out with a football at the end of that play, but it will remain with the Trojans here. 1st and 10 after the run by Martin from the 45-yard line. I formation. Single receivers to each side as Urbachik gets it, hit in the backfield, spins out, still got back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice job again by Eduardo Gil. He's kind of started to live in the backfield a little bit, and that it can be good and it can be bad because it can be good because he can get a hold of him before he gets going, but it can be bad because it might create some running gaps.
Coming up on just about 5 minutes left to go before halftime. 5-10 and counting down. Yeoman leading 7-0. It's going to be a 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans from their own 45-yard line. Urbachik's the deep man, standing at his own 39-yard line. Single receivers to each side as they'll fake the handoff to Urbachik, rolling to his left, and that ball is nearly picked off. Incomplete instead.
Yeah, a little bootleg pass there, and we had Dominic Rangel coming hard off the edge after the quarterback there, and so we had a couple guys make a play on the ball there. We had a couple guys with a chance to get a pick, but the ball fell to the turf.
Yeah, it looked like Randy Flores was also in there as well, and I had a chance at a near pick, and instead it ends up incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10. Also stops the clock. 4:52 left. Yeoman leading 7-0. Trojans facing 3rd and long. And they will come out with 3 receivers off to the right side. 1 to the left. They're going to roll to that right side. Looking. Now steps up in the pocket, takes off running, and he is going to be dropped for a loss.
Again, caught from behind by big Eduardo Gil. It really shocks me to see Troy come out in the spread like that and try to throw the ball, do something different than what they've been doing. I think they're by running that type of offense right there, I feel like they're playing right into the Yeoman's hands.
And I believe we're finally going to see the Trojan punter.
Yeah, finally. I didn't know if they had one.
I was starting to wonder, actually. They've gone for it on 4th down every time until this time. And now they have lined out a punter with 4:10 to go here in the first half. And they're going to hike it over the punter's head. He's going to have to retreat all the way back inside the 15 to the 10. Now running around towards the left side, finds the sideline, but he will go out of bounds near the 35-yard line at about let's see where they mark it, the 34.
Wow, I tell you what, Brett, Troy is extremely lucky on that play that all they ended up doing was losing 5 or so yards because, I'm not sure I've ever seen a punt or a punt snap sail that high over a punter's head before. It's not like he's a little guy and can't jump either. The center just really sailed that ball.
I mean, he'd have had to have been Hakeem Olajuwon to get that thing.
Yeah, they're really lucky we didn't have a block on, because if we'd had a block on, we were going to scoop and score that thing.
So with 4 minutes exactly before halftime, Yeoman are out in front 7-0. They've got the football from the 34 of the Trojans. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right for Cameron. And they're going to lie on Johnson as the up back to the left. And 1 man in the backfield, but they're looking to throw. It's going to be a screen play out to the left side. It's that bubble screen. Now working his way towards the middle of the field. Spins out of 1 tackle up across the 20 to where he gets leveled.
Ooh. I tell you, that was a nifty move by Pharrell Hemphill, but he paid for it in the end, Brett. Late flag came in there. I'm not sure what that was for. Unless they thought it was head-to-head.
Well, we will see what we are waiting on.
Officials are having a conference.
So waiting on a penalty call for the referees. Huddled around that 20-yard line. Where the tackle's made, and they're going to wipe it off. So no penalty. It is a Centex Auto first down, though. And depending on where they spot this, the Yeoman may be in the Blue Box Boutique red zone for the first time.
Looks like we're going to be just outside at about the 21.
So close.
Almost, but not quite.
Knocking on the door. They're at the 21-yard line. So just outside of the Blue Box Boutique red zone. Clock is running inside 3:45 to go before halftime. Yeoman on the move, leading 7-0. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 man in the backfield with an up back to the right. And Zider, quick throw, that's out to the right, but that ball's dropped. I think he heard some footsteps.
Yeah, he was definitely rushed making that throw there and threw it a little bit low to Goolsby on the little bubble play, and so Goolsby wasn't able to scoop it up off the turf.
That sounds like what a freshman would do. You hear those footsteps coming at you.
Yeah, for sure.
3:33 on the clock. Two-back set now for the Yeomen. Two receivers to the right side. Zeinert hands the ball off around the left side, cuts back to the right, but got to find no running room. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Hemphill is the ball carrier again there, the young man that broke for the long touchdown a few minutes ago, trying to kind of basically the same type of play.
So a third down now coming up for Cameron here. I want to move the ball last couple of drives fairly well, but bogging down right now with about 3 minutes to go before halftime. And knocking on the door of the Bling Box Boutique red zone. Trying to get in there on third down and 10 from their Trojan 21-yard line. Twins off to the left side. Zeinert in the two-back set. Looks to throw. Got a man on the slant. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Yeoman.
And we basically ran that zone read type play, but we did what Baylor used to do a lot off of that when they had RG3 there. It was they ride it in that back's belly and then pull it out, and instead of the quarterback running it on that zone read, hitting Bynum on the skinny slant or the skinny poster up the middle for the quick score and the touchdown.
Now trying for a Cryer collision extra point. There's the snap and the hold, the kick, that's up, and that will be good. So 14-0 is the new score. 2:41 on the clock before halftime. Yeoman leading here in Troy over the Trojans. You're listening to Yo Football on 105 with the Ranch.
At Milam County Livestock Auction, our goal is to provide the best market environment for both buyers and sellers. Located in Cameron, we're right in the heart of Central Texas, which allows us to service customers from all over the state. I'm Carson Mingus, and I invite you to join our team every Friday at noon for our weekly sale. You can reach us at 254-697-6697. Check us out on Facebook or at MilamCountyLivestockAuction.com. We look forward to seeing you this Friday at Milam County Livestock Auction. Sale starts at noon.
By returning here with just 2:41 to go before halftime, Yeoman out in front 14-0 over the Trojans here in Troy. And Cameron will be kicking off. Let's get to your Don's Painted Body scoring drive. That's Don's Painted Body. Call 697-2011. Go see the Unix and check it out. All the cool things they can do with your vehicle to get it all fixed up. Ends up as 4 plays, 34 yards. 21-yard touchdown pass from Zane Zeinert to Fabian Bynum is the scoring play there. Extra point was good. And so 14-0 is our new score with 2:41 to go in this half. Cameron preparing to kick off here. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a high short kick, and they'll field that at the 30-yard line. He's going to come towards the middle of the field, but he is wrapped up, and he will be hit and knocked down at the 30.
Great job by Randy Flores of getting through and being the first man down, making contact, just holding him up till the rest of the Yeomen could get there and make sure and get him down on the ground.
So, 2:33 to go in this half. Cameron leading by 2 touchdowns now. It'll be 1st and 10 for Troy. They actually marked this at the 31-yard line. That's where the Trojans will start here. Herbachik will be the tailback. Single receiver off to the right side. Under center. Quarterback, hands off. And Herbachik weaves his way through traffic. Still on his feet. Finally goes down, but only a couple of yards there. Feels like he ran about 15.
Yeah, he kind of broke it outside there. And I couldn't see the number of the young man. It was that Knight that was in on the tackle there, or the first contact coming up from and filling from the safety position. And as long as we can continue to keep Herbachik corralled like we have so far tonight, for the most part, I like our chances.
Just about 2 minutes to go before halftime. It's a 2-score lead for Cameron, up 14-0. Single receiver to the left side this time for the Trojans. Herbachik's the deep man, but they're going to give it to the fullback as Martin leaps the first defender he sees and then goes down for a yard gain.
And Fabian Solomon said he has seen enough of that play tonight. He recognized that right away, saw that trap was coming at him, took it on with his shoulder, stood it up, and then jumped in on the tackle as well.
Coming up on a minute and a half to go. Coming up Of course, at halftime, we'll have your Germania halftime report. Tell you what we saw here in this first half.
Yeoman kind of subbing a secondary player for a linebacker-type kid right here on this play, kind of expecting maybe a pass out of the Trojans.
3rd and 7. Handoff for Herbachik, and he's going to find a hole, and he's got a big one. Now he's off to the races. The 40, the 30, the 20, 10. Touchdown, Troy.
And that's what that young man can do right there on any given play, Brett. He just, it's nothing special. It's just a straight isolation play, and he just finds a little gap, and if he's through it, it's over.
66 yards on the carry. And Herbachik takes it all the way in, and in a hurry. He's now got 20 carries, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. With 1:06 on the clock before halftime, Trojans to try for an extra point now. There's the kick. That will be up and through, and it's going to be a one-score ball game. 14-7 is where things stand. There's 7 points separating these two here in the first half. 1:06 to go before halftime. This is Yo Football at 105 on the Ranch.
Discover the many services that Standards Home Health can provide for you or a loved one in need of in-home health care, like skilled nursing care, home health aides, cardiac recovery, pulmonary recovery, physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy services. And for those difficult times, they provide compassionate hospice care. Standards Home Health, raising the standards for in-home health care in the state of Texas. Call today for a free in-home consultation, 1-888-671-7007.
More folks back.
Just over a minute to go before we get to halftime. Trojans just getting an explosive play from their star running back, Zach Herbachik, a 66-yard carry by the superstar. Ends up as a touchdown for the Trojans. They kick the extra point. It's now 14-7. Yeoman leading by a touchdown. 1:06 to go, and the Trojans will have to kick off now.
And I think that young man's being recruited by a lot of people, but I think he is committed to Sam Houston State, if I'm not mistaken, Brett.
That is good to know. We'll see what the Trojans do here. A couple of options. Either a short kick or you see what happens. And it will be a short kick. It's going to be angled. Field it at the 32-yard line. Bynum, though, giving ground. And now giving up a lot of ground. Back up across the 30. Breaks through a couple of tackles. The 35, the 40. Down the sideline he goes towards the 50. Across midfield, the 40. Still down the sideline, but finally stepped out. Goes down at about the 35 of Troy.
And that's a great thing about if when they do score is we got a chance to make some yards on the return with our return guys. Nobody wants to kick it deep to Hemphill and Spikes back there. But I'm telling you what, Bynum at that intermediate level is pretty darn dangerous, Brett.
That he is, just showing you why. And with 52 seconds to go before halftime, the Yeomen in excellent position here to potentially tack on more points before the half. 1st and 10 at the Troy 35-yard line after the nice return by Bynum. And the Yeomen will come out. 3 receivers set off to the right side for Zeinert. And Zeinert looking that direction. Now he's going to go the other way. Looking for his man, streaking toward the end zone, incomplete, overthrown, just barely.
Yeah, pretty good throw and great attempt there by Hemphill on the go pattern. Just a step out of Hemphill's reach.
So 2nd and 10. We talk several times, Kenny, about going for the jugular after a play like what happened with the special teams thing, and that seemed like exactly what Cameron was trying to do right there.
No doubt.
2nd down, 3 receivers off to the right side again. This time, handoff, going to break through, stumbles forward, picks up about 4 yards on Keyshawn Johnson's carry.
Yeah, it was a draw play that I hadn't seen the Yeoman employ yet this year, and so it was a great call right there. And it really was open, but he kind of tripped as he was taking off there and lost his balance, and so wasn't able to retain his balance, went down too easy there.
Well, Yeoman also ended up taking a timeout. They stopped the clock with 37 seconds left before halftime. There's just 1 timeout remaining for the Yeoman. The Trojans have 2. This is a one-score game right now, 14-7. Low scoring. To think Well, you included, not a lot of people saw coming.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, that could change in the second.
Yeah, it can all change in the second half. We're in a hurry, but I think people will be shocked to see a 14-7 score with 37 seconds to go in the second quarter of this ball game.
The offense coming out of the timeout, facing 3rd down and 6. It's going to be twins to each side. Johnson will be the tailback. 37 seconds left. Ball's at the 31 of the Trojans. And in that 2 receiver set, waiting on the whistles from the umpires to begin.
Not sure what they're waiting on.
Now ready to go. The Yeoman will have a play here on 3rd down, leading 14-7. And this time we're going to see flags here.
Yeah, one of our linemen rocked out of their stance a little bit early there, Brett.
Yeah, it looked like the Trojans were going to bring some pressure. They came crashing towards the line, and it caused the Yeoman to flinch.
Yeah, they had an inside and an outside backer both on a stunt right there, trying to bring more people than we have to block.
So 36 seconds, loss of a second somewhere. But it backs the Yeoman up after the penalty, 3rd and 11. That changes the play call, right?
At this point, we're kind of shooting for, to get inside the 10-yard line anyway, so I'm not sure it changes it a whole lot.
It's twin receivers here to each side for Zeinert on 3rd and 11. And he's looking to throw. Now being chased down to the pocket, and he is going to be getting out of that one, but stumbles and falls down deep across midfield, in fact.
And that one will definitely change the play call. Go ahead and bring the punt team out now.
Yeah, we'll bring.
Well, I guess we may run it down to the, just throw a Hail Mary here last play, maybe.
Now, if you're Coach Ronnie Porter, why not just take a timeout here? Have a chance to at least return it.
I think we're going to take a timeout right here, and we're just going to, I'd be shocked if we just don't, drop back and Hail Mary it right here.
And we'll see what happens. Timeout taken by the Yeoman. They have none remaining. There are 2 seconds on the clock here. Yeoman leading 14-7. Zeinert had dropped back on 3rd down and somehow miraculously escaped what looked like about a 10-yard sack, then stumbled out of it and fell down to make it about a 15-yard sack.
That's one of those dadgummit. Wish we went down the first time.
Ball's, about the 6-yard line, 45-yard line?
Running right at the 45. Maybe we just needed a little more space to work with.
There you go. 2 seconds is all that separates these two teams from halftime. And it's 4th down and 20 for Cameron. They're going to have, for Cameron, appears to be a 2-back set, 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. See what Zeinert decides to do here. About 7 deep for Troy, and Zeinert will look to throw, but instead he's going to be sacked, caught from behind, and dropped to the turf. And that will be the last play of the first half. Yeoman leading by touchdown over the Trojans, 14-7 here in Troy. Time to join the Germania halftime report.
This is the Germania Insurance Halftime Report, live from the stadium, brought to you by Lisa Roden, your Germania Insurance agent in Cameron.
Welcome into our Germania Halftime Report. Yeoman out in front by a touchdown, 14-7. All right, Kenny, this has been not what you expected here tonight.
No, it really isn't by any means. But I really think it's good, though. We've done a good job of corralling Herbacic, which sounds crazy, me saying those words when he's got 160-something or more yards rushing and 1 touchdown, But the fact that we've held him to 1 touchdown versus, 3 or 4 is where I'm coming out with that, saying that I think we've done a good job of corralling him there. I think, the people that are following this game on the the football app online versus listening to us or watching it on the live stream are probably thinking that somebody's messing with that score, or somebody, why aren't they updating the score? Because I don't think anybody saw this coming, that's for sure. But it's been a wild one, but wild in a different way than what you would normally expect, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. Looks like Yeoman band is going to, of course, take the field here first as the visiting band. So we'll see about a quarter of the band. Is that right?
Yeah, it's probably about a half of the band. There's probably 50, 60 kids out there, because you got the band, you do have, flags and that stuff. And you got some pit folks and all. But, again, with our COVID restrictions and that kind of stuff, just half the band is traveling, only 2 buses worth of band members here tonight instead of 4 buses.
Well, we will bring you, of course, the band's performance. As part of our halftime show, our performance of the award-winning Yale High School Marching Band presented on the Germania Halftime Show by Ideal Poultry of Cameron, always a big supporter of Yo Band, athletics and academics. Waiting on them. They are lined up and taking the field here.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting your halftime entertainment is the CHO High School Marching Band. Yo Band will be performing Shout It Out and Smoke on the Water. Ladies and gentlemen, the CHO High School Marching Band.
There it is, your Yo High School Band, brought to you here on the Germania Halftime Report by our good friends at Ideal Poultry. Always a huge supporter of not only the high school marching band, but also the band athletics and academics. And proud to have them as a sponsor. I tell you what, Kenny, let's take a break here on our Germania Halftime Report. We'll come back, break this one down, and get some stats from Josh Pratt in just a moment. You're listening to the Germania Halftime Report here on the Ranch.
It's a trust as true as Texas, a friend with a helping hand. When you want to ensure the good things in life, trust Germania.
Is your insurance company taking too big a bite out of your apple? When you're shopping for property insurance, think about coverage, service, and price. Make sure you're getting the most for your money. When you compare apples to apples, you'll see that Germania Insurance delivers outstanding value, competitive rates, flexible payment options, and discounts. Plus, Germania offers 24/7 customer claim service. Trusted by Texans since 1896. Don't give up service or sacrifice coverage. Compare apples to apples. Then choose the outstanding value offered by Germania Insurance.
So when you want to ensure the good things in life, trust Germania.
Call 697-4683 for Sharon Ruback, representative of Ruback Insurance and Germania Farm Mutual Companies.
Welcome back on our Germania Halftime Report as Yeoman leading 14-7 here in this one. It is a one-touchdown game between these two and a low-scoring affair, as we mentioned at the start of our halftime broadcast. Kenny, this has been not probably what a lot of people expected here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I expected, Brett. That's for sure. I expected some kind of Texas Tech style shootout type ball game, something, here at the half that might be, a 33-28, something like that wouldn't have shocked me. I'm not sure what time it is. I don't have a watch on, but I figured right now we'd be just finishing, the middle of the second quarter, and here we are, already
8:30.
It's been a quick ball game. Not a lot of scoring, not a lot of, stopping the clock for any reason, with the Troy employing the ground and pound like they do. But you have to be happy with where we sit right now. Up 7 points, going into the second half, and the fact that you told me we only had 14 points at the half, I was going to tell you we were in trouble. And not that we were up by 7.
Yeah, leading by 7. Really, defense hasn't played too bad. They've really done a good job for the most part of bottling up your Bobancic. He had the one long run for the touchdown, a 66-yarder, but yards at the half.
Yeah, which is, at 160 yards.
You look at that, 122 total yards. Of course, take into account you lost about 20 yards right there before halftime. But still, you look at the school board says 14-7, but they're outgaining you presently.
They are, but again, the only stat that really matters at the end of the night is the scoreboard. And if Herbacha gets 375 yards and 2 touchdowns and we win 21-14 with 240 yards total offense, I'll take it. So sometimes you just got to win in different ways. And tonight, so far our defense has been, out there a lot, and they've bent a lot, but they haven't broken much. And so if they can continue to do that, then we definitely have a puncher's chance for sure.
When you look at it defensively, they have played a lot, but the line, I feel like, has played fairly well. They've gotten a lot of help. It looks like the Yeomen have really crowded the box here tonight and playing within 70 yards of the line of scrimmage, which is probably what you want to do against a guy like Herbancic. And the thing about that, though, is as much as the defense has been out there, you worry about how long they can keep that up.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely worry
especially undersized.
Yeah, you definitely worry about, undersized, and with the youth we've got on that side of the ball, you worry about them getting worn down as the game goes, and that's the thing that Herbacic does is, the guy carries the ball probably 40-something times a game, and so, he will wear you down. And so it only takes just one play for him, obviously, to go the distance. But, man, the Yo defense has done a really good job. Something that, I don't feel like we have overcrowded the line, and I think that's something we've done against teams like this in the past that's kind of hurt us maybe a little bit, is overcrowded the line, and then when a gap does appear and they're able to shoot through it, we don't have anybody there, on a second or third level. And our frontline guys that we mentioned a minute ago are doing a really good job. But I tell you, our second and third level, they're really flying to the football and game tackling and that sort of stuff. So, overall, the defense, again, the stats don't necessarily prove it or represent it if you look at the overall stats. But if you look at that scoreboard stat, the defense has done a pretty good job so far tonight.
Offensively, though, maybe a tad concerning, even though you're on top 14-7, but it just feels like it's been stop and go. I guess.
It's kind of been a big play offense, which we've done a lot, in Cameron over the years. We've had a lot of big plays, but it definitely would be nice to see us, sustain some drives, take some time off the clock ourselves, and then finish it off with scores. That when you to teams, it kind of demoralizes them a little bit, and that's what I think. If we could, sustain some nice drives here in the half, finish them off with touchdowns, then we might be able to pull away a little bit. Maybe if we can get up by a couple of scores, maybe get them out of their comfort zone. You saw when they tried to go spread and try to throw a little bit, they didn't have much luck with that. We got a couple sacks there and that kind of thing. And so they've always been a team in Troy, is that if we could get them out of their comfort zone, we were able to kind of lay the wood to them a little bit. And so if we could get up on them a little bit and get them out of their comfort zone, then I sure like our chances.
Talking to Coach Brashear this morning, he said, look, the goal tonight is to not necessarily hold Bocic in check or anything like that, but he basically said we want to shorten the game and do what we do best. And right now feels like they haven't necessarily shortened the game. Troy has done that for them.
Right, yeah, Troy has done that. I mean, I'd have to go back and see what the number of plays they've run versus the number of plays that we've run, but it wouldn't shock me in the least for that to be a 2-to-1 ratio. And the time of possession, I don't think that's a stat that Josh keeps, but, man, they got to be way up on time of possession. But, again.
It's like 30-20?
Yeah, so they've
plays. So they run 10 more plays.
Yeah, so they've run 10 more plays. You equate that to 40 seconds per play whenever you have the dead time in between when they're huddling and that sort of stuff. They've held the ball for probably 4 or 5 minutes longer than we have. And so that's 4 or 5 minutes longer our defense has been on the field than their defense has been on the field. And those things they can take effect in the second half. And so we're going to have to come out, refocus, and play it like we're not necessarily up going into the second half.
What changes do you want to see in the second half?
I would like to see us establish the run a little better. We really haven't done a great job of that. We got, the majority of our rushing yards came on the one big play from Pharrell Hemphill. So, that's something I felt like we did a really good job of last week. And so I think that's something that if we would come out and establish the run, that would go a long way to shortening the game and that kind of stuff like Coach Brashear talked about. So I would definitely like to see us do that. And then, the other thing is we've had a few drops, you can't have those kind of things either against good teams like Troy, because, you don't want to get behind the sticks against anybody, but a team that's a good team like them, you can't do it against anyone.
All right, let's go ahead and take our last break here on the Germania Halftime Report. We'll come back, get to some scores, and get ready for the second half. You're listening to Yo Football on 105.1 The Ranch.
It's a trust as true as Texas, a friend with a helping hand, when you want to ensure the good things in life. Trust Germania.
Are you comparing apples to apples on your insurance coverage?
Apples to apples?
Yeah, like making sure you have a great rate and outstanding coverage.
My company says they have the lowest rates, but I'm not sure about coverage.
How about service? When you're shopping for property insurance, do you compare coverage, service, and price to make sure you're getting the most for your money?
I never thought to ask.
Well, Germania Insurance has been insuring Texans for over 100 years.
I do need to do some comparing.
Just make sure you're comparing apples to apples with the right coverage and outstanding rates for property, auto, and your family.
So when you want to insure the good things in life, trust Germania.
Call 697-4683 for Sharon Ruback, representative of Ruback Insurance and Germania Farm Mutual Companies.
Back here on the Germania halftime report as we head towards that second half. Let's quickly get into some scores. Kenny, do you want to bring us some halftime scores here?
Yeah, definitely. One that listeners are going to wonder, why in the world is he even bringing that one up? But where did it go? Golly, I got Navarro is up over Austin Achieve 58-0 with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, Brett. And I'm sure people are wondering why I'm bringing that up, because Navarro was an 82-point favorite in that game. And so, but oddly enough, that's not the biggest point spread favorite of the night. Wimberley's a 97-point favorite over Austin Achieve going into tonight's game. But I don't know if that game's being played. I can't find a score on it. So, Mart is up 56-0 over Hubbard, doing what Mart does. Granger up over Iola 29-8 at the half. Looks like, says Bruceville Eddy may have forfeited to Thorndale.
No, I think that game was canceled.
Okay, all right.
Or not canceled, postponed.
Gotcha. Brock, who's, very highly ranked, is up 34-13 over Ponder at the half. Temple, just up the road here, is up 31-14, almost halftime over Copper's Cove. You got a big ball game in 4A, two top 10 ranked teams. Salado leading China Spring 14-7 at the half. Lago Vista, who we saw, last year, was a good team, is up 21-17 over Llano. Gatesville is up 7-0 over Robinson at the half. You've got Conley. Waco Conley is up 35-15 over Gerald, who was in our district last year, moved up to 4A this year. And then in district, you've got Academy is up 33-8 over Caldwell, so they're looking to right the ship after last week. You've got Lorena is up 28-14 over McGregor with 48 seconds left heading into halftime. So there's our district scores there. You got Grandview, number one in the state, is up 44-7 over West. You got Marlin, who used to be in the district with Cameron here years and years ago, is up 14-7 over Kearns at the half. You got Rosewood Lot right down the road. They've been. Last year they were not very good at all. They're much better this year, much improved. Got them a couple of wins already, and they're on the road tonight to another one. They're up 22-0 over Moody with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Franklin, who we saw earlier this season, is up 50-6 at the half over Florence. Right up the road, big ball game in the 3 Division II. Lexington is up over Rogers 14-7 with 21 seconds left before the half. So Rogers Eagles are hanging tough there against Lexington with the Kerr kid, who's being recruited by everybody in the nation as well. And then Refugio, who's always a really good team, in a division below us that we've played a couple times in some non-district ball games, is up 14-0 over Kennedy at the half.
I got a couple other things for you. Baseball scores, those of you that are interested. Houston Astros are leading 7-2 in the 8th.
And that's Game 6,
that's
right?
Game 6. So
Game 6
to
try to tie it up 3-3 and send it to a Game 7.
Which will be tomorrow, in case you're wondering. There you go.
Big, yeah. A couple games from last night. You got Groesbeck over Teague. Teague's a team we've played several times in the playoffs. Groesbeck beat them last night in a Thursday night ball game, 51-41. Belton, big school here in our area. played Killeen last night. Killeen, they've got 4 high schools over in Killeen, so they'll play a Thursday night game, a Friday night game, and 2 games on Saturday over there sometimes because they've got 1 stadium for 4 6A high schools. It's crazy. But Belton beat Killeen High School yesterday, 33-26. And then another one of those lopsided games that you hate to see because, man, they're hard to watch. But Liberty Hill continues to roll over Austin Travis last night, 86-0.
All right, well, let's go ahead and close up shop here on the Germania Halftime Report. Let's get ready for the second half kickoff coming up here in just a moment. You are listening to 105 on the Ranch.
The Germania Insurance Halftime Report. Game nights on KMIL during Cameron Yo football. The second half of tonight's game is next.
Getting ready for our second half here tonight. Just a couple of minutes till we get to that kickoff. 2 teams are entering their tunnels and should be returning to the field here shortly. Meanwhile, we're about to start our third quarter tonight, which is brought to you by the good folks at Etcho in Texas. They're open Thursdays through Saturdays over in the Arlen's parking lot. It's top-notch barbecue and probably some of the best right here in Cameron.
Oh, man, and Brett, I'm super excited. Today was Boss's Day, and one of my employees gave me a $25 gift certificate to Hetcho, and so I may be spending part of that tomorrow for lunchtime.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
That is a very good plan. Because it is our touchdown third quarter, brought to you by Etcho in Texas, we'll be drawing names here in this quarter. If the Omen can score a touchdown, you get a 3-meat plate to Etcho in Texas. And they're open Thursday through Saturday. Our first contestant, by the way, here in this second half, in this third quarter, will be Emma Lawson. So, again, Emma Lawson, if the Omen score a touchdown, you'll get a 3-meat plate from Etcho in Texas.
All right, Miss Lawson. Right, Miss Lawson works over at Cameron Junior High. She's a good lady. Rooting for her.
Well, the Omen, of course, will be kicking off to start the second half. They received in the first, leading 14-7 as they come out here in the second half. And Yeoman got to like where they sit starting the second half.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you come out of the halftime locker room, up, you got to like it. Of course, Troy will be receiving here to open the second half, and so going to have to come out and reestablish that defense that's done a good job of corralling Herbochik so far.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Cameron right now, you can't afford a slow start to start the second half.
Yeah, we don't. We definitely don't want to let them get their steam rolling because they're a steamroller type of offense, and they get it rolling, then it'll be tough to stop.
So our second half kickoff is coming up. This second half kickoff is going to be brought to you by Little River Event Center in Cameron, just outside of Cameron, actually. Out in the country, a very beautiful venue. If you've not been out there, very, very cool stuff they've got out there. And one of the cool places to get pitched, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how I'll be doing that again, but definitely a nice place out there. I know the high school held their prom out last year.
They did.
Beautiful facility they've got out there.
Yeah, very, very neat. As second half kickoff here coming your way now. The Omen are set to kick off. This kickoff brought to you by Little River Event Center. Teed up at the 40. And here's our second half kick. That's going to be a short one. That's going to be fielded at about the 42. Then fights forward to near midfield.
Yeah, Yeoman went the angle kick again that time. Instead of towards our own sideline, we actually kicked it to Troy's sideline. And they got behind big number 55 there, Elijah Sunderman. And, man, he's a guy you don't want to meet in a dark alley, Brett. He's one of those guys that block out the sun. He's a big old boy.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10 from midfield for the Trojans to start the second half. And as they do, they'll go right to left across the radio dial. Trojans will come out in an I formation with one single receiver now in motion. And it's going to be the handoff to Herbochik coming to the left side, but cuts back to the right and then goes down after a 2-yard gain.
Nice job there by Carlos Solomon on the defensive line, getting a hold of Herbochik and then Gill finishing him off for the short gain.
Second down and 8 for the Yeoman now. Inside of 11 and a half to go in this quarter. Yeoman leading 14-7. It's a touchdown lead for Cameron here. Again to the I formation. Urbacek the deep back. Yeoman quickly come to the line to set up the defense. And a pitch around the right side for Urbacek. He stops, now comes back to his center of the formation, but he will go down after about a yard, maybe 2.
And that's Fabian Solomon in on the tackle there. And I tell you, they ran a toss sweep right there to Urbacek. He tried to get the edge, and we did a great job of getting out there and holding the contain and forcing him to cut it back. And Solomon was right there to really limit what he was able to get out of it.
The other thing I want to point out with what we've seen from Urbacek here in the first half and then some, he doesn't take a big hit.
No, he's one of them slithery guys that he's not going to let you get good wood on him.
He gets the handoff here up the middle of the formation, breaks through a couple of defenders, and then will pick up nice yardage. Got 7, maybe 8 on the carry.
And I tell you something, he's gotten so much better at than what I've seen him do in the past is following his blockers right there. He just got in behind his big lineman there and just followed him. Never really turned on the jets, just followed those big linemen until a couple of our backers were able to kind of slide through there and get a piece of him.
So now a first down and 10 from the 39-yard line. Coming up on 10 minutes left in this third quarter. Trojans with the football in Yo territory. Under center, it's going to be a end around for Urbacek. Hits the edge and then picks up nice yards. Got 6 on the carry.
They faked that speed sweep type play there, or buck sweep, whatever you want to call it, a couple of times in the first half and came back with the fullback underneath on the sweep trap. But they actually handed it to Urbacek that time. He picked up some nice yardage there.
So, after the 6-yard carry, 2nd and 4 for the Trojans. Troy on the move, down by a touchdown, 14-7. Clock at 9.5 to go left in the quarter. The deep back is Urbacek. He's alone. This time, though, it's to the fullback. Breaks out of an ankle tackle now around the left side, and he's got a full head of steam before he finally goes down after 2 tacklers.
And that's nothing more than a counter play right there. They're pulling that backside, the right side guard and tackle there, and we did a great job of attacking that pull, but we missed the tackle at that point there, and the young man was able to get outside on us there and pick up a nice gain before we were finally able to, basically force him towards the out of bounds.
Well enough for a first down, and that puts Troy at the 22-yard line, driving deep into territory. I formation this time here for the Trojans. And it's going to go to the fullback here, and he breaks through the line of scrimmage. He's off to the races now, and he will be in the end zone. Touchdown, Troy. Hunter Martin.
Yeah, real quick fullback trap right there, right up the gut, with Urbacek kind of flying out of there. Kind of drew some of our guys' eyes away from what they were doing.
So 14-13 with an extra point coming. As Trojans strike first here in the second half. Looking to knot things up here with the extra point try. High snap. Kick is up, though. Has plenty of leg, and it's good, and that will tie it up. So 14 all. 8:47 to go here in the third quarter. Brought to you by Etcho in Texas, as we've got a brand new ball game here in this one. You're listening to Go Football on 105 on the Ranch.
You feel it the minute you walk in our doors. You know you're in a friendly place, a place where people know their jobs and enjoy doing them. Everywhere you look, you see people helping people. Good service and a good attitude have a lot to do with each other. You can't have one if you don't have the other. A strong bank is built on strong relationships. Strong relationships are built on good service. Citizens National Bank, member FDIC, rated one of the nation's strongest banks.
Back here in Troy, 8:47 to go. And it's all tied up at 14 as the Trojans take the football first here in the second half and drive right down the field against the O defense and tie this one up. So 14 all, and now the Trojans will kick off.
Could be another exciting play for the Yeomen right here. This is, where we can sure make things happen here on this kickoff return.
Expecting a short kick, I believe, which is exactly what we'll see. Short, high-popped kick. That'll be fielded at the 35. And the Yeomen are going to just go out of bounds.
Bonham did a great job of fielding the kick right there, making a couple of yards after the catch, but then just really, without taking a chance of giving up too many yards to try to get a big return there, just stepped out of bounds.
Cameron will start from their own 38-yard line, looking to get some momentum rolling here as they start their first possession of the second half. And having watched Troy already score with their first possession here in this half. Yeoman will come out in the shotgun. Trips off to the left side. One man alone to the right, moving from left to right on the radio dial. The first play will be the keeper by the quarterback, Zeinert, though, with almost nowhere to go. Immediately will be swarmed on, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got half a yard, maybe one.
Run that zone read there with Johnson riding it in him, and didn't feel like Johnson was going to be able to get any yards, so yanked it out quickly and tried to shoot up the middle there. But the Troy defense is stiffening up.
Second down and 10 now for the Yeomen, as they come out now with two receivers to the left side and one to the right from the near hash mark. Zeinert at quarterback, looking to throw. It's going to be the slant. That ball caught up across the 40, makes a move there, then to midfield, and is going to be spun down and brought down for a nice gain and a Centex Auto first down.
Just a quick swing pass to our slot receiver, Goolsby, out there, and then you got Hemphill doing a great job out blocking for him in front.
So after the Centex Auto first down, Yeomen have the football on the Troy 44-yard line. First and 10. Here's the Cameron Yeomen on the move. Two receivers to the left side, one to the right, and a two-back set. And Zeinert will hand off. Coming around left side, continues to bounce it out now. Down the sideline he goes as Keyshawn Johnson goes out of bounds and takes a man with him.
Yeah, I really like that play right there, Brett. That's where we kind of started off the ball game last week against Academy, and we're really, able to get a little bit of success early with it, and it really softened up their team, their defense. And so I'd love to see us continue running some of that right there to big Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, that was another Centex Auto first down, so first and 10 from the 25-yard line this time. Another handoff here, and Johnson tries to bounce it around the left side. Bounces off a couple of would-be tacklers, and finally will go bounced out of bounds.
Yeah, they're having a hard time getting him down, that's for sure. They're able to force him out of bounds, but again, not after a good 7-yard gain right there. I like what we're starting to do here. Kind of looks like we're trying to unleash the beast.
Well, put the Yeomen in the Blink Box Boutique Red Zone. That's the Blink Box Boutique at 111 North Central in downtown Cameron. And check their Facebook for the latest in specials. Trips off to the right side here in the Blink Box Boutique Red Zone. It's going to be second down and short, and the Yeomen will hand the ball off. Right up the gut he goes, but then gets tripped up at about the 10-yard line.
We were pulling our backside guard on that play there. Looks like the play was kind of designed to go to the right, but Keyshawn saw a nice big gap right up the gut, and he said, I'm just going to take what they're going to give us right there, pick up a nice gain and a first down to boot.
So another Centex Auto first down. Yeomen remain in the Blink Box Boutique Red Zone. They can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Clock running at just about 7 minutes left in the quarter. And Zeinert looking to throw. Chased out of the pocket, then lets one go. Dumps it off at the 10-yard line. Picks up a couple of yards before he's brought down by a trio of defenders.
I'd say that Troy defensive line is pretty stout, Brett. They're really bearing down on Zeinert there. So Zeinert did a good job of checking down to his back, Johnson, who had leaked out of the backfield there to avoid the sack and pick up, 2 or 3 yards there.
All tied at 14. We've got a 2nd and 7 for the Yeomen this time. Ball is at the 8-yard line. When receivers to the right side for Zeinert, he's got one man in the backfield. That's who's going to get the football, but he's being chased backwards, and he'll go down after a huge loss at about the 15.
And that big Elijah Sunderman from Troy, number 55, Brett, I talked about him a few minutes ago. Man, he is really exerting himself on that defensive line. He's something else. We may have to put, an extra blocker on him. We may have to double him or have another back in the backfield to help, keep him out of our backfield.
Yeomen went from 2nd down and 7 to a 3rd down and about 15. Still in the Blink Box Boutique Red Zone. Zeinert now looking to throw. Still looking. Steps up in the pocket. That ball was tipped, and I still think he's going to be caught by the tailback, who now is fighting some blockers in front of him, but he'll get to the 10-yard line, and that's as far as he goes.
Yeah, it kind of got us back to the original line of scrimmage right there. Looks like field goal unit coming on here to try to regain the lead.
So we've got a player down here on the near sideline. Did not see what happened there, but a Yeoman is down. So we will take a 30-second timeout with them. We'll be back in a moment. It's an injury timeout. We're tied at 14 with 5:30 on the clock here in Troy. We're back in a moment.
At Standards Home Health, they believe that you deserve compassionate, honest, and reliable care from only the finest healthcare professionals. Call the professionals at Standards Home Health to find out more about home health services. You have a choice when it comes to choosing a home health provider. Choose the provider that has raised the standards in home health care across the state of Texas. Standards Home Health and Hospice. 1-888-671-7007. 1-888-671-7007.
You know the problem. More stuff than storage. Lone Star Structures has you covered. Lone Star Structures' skilled craftsmen have been building top-notch sheds since 1997. Design your own with their brand new shed builder at LoneStarStructures.com or browse their available inventory for quick delivery. Lone Star Structures, Midway Drive exit in Temple or Highway 77 in Rosebud Lot. Call 800-551-4807. Lone Star Structures. Buy local. Buy from folks you trust.
With more than 100 years of serving Central Texas, Buckholz State Bank is all about you, the customer. Banking with a personal touch. That's what Buckholz Bank does best. At Buckholz State Bank, you're not just a number. Discover the difference. Stop in at any of their 3 locations and visit with a personal banker about becoming a valued customer. Because we care. Buckholz State Bank in Buckholz, Cameron Branch Buckholz State Bank, and Rogers Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back here in Troy. The injured player is now up and gingerly not putting any weight on that right leg, but limping off the field and getting some help in doing so.
Yeah, I didn't see what occurred there. Pharrell Hemphill was out as far wide to the right as you possibly could, and Keyshawn kind of cut the play back to the left, and so I was following Keyshawn, so I didn't see what happened there. But sure don't like the way he's not hardly putting any weight whatsoever on that leg.
Yeah, not at all. Having to be helped off and only putting weight on that left leg. So injury time out there. The Yeoman now coming out with a field goal unit on a 4th down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Looks like it'll be about a 28-yard field goal from the far hash mark. Yeoman and Troy tied at 14 as the field goal attempt here. Kick is up. And that is no good. Missed it wide to the left. So a missed field goal leaves the score tied at 14 and gives the ball back to the Troy Trojans here. And it will be Troy football at the...
Brings it out to the 20?
Yeah, the 18, right?
If it's inside the 20, does it not come back out to the 20?
You're correct. Yes. So the Trojans survive a field goal attempt, which missed wide left. And now Troy has the football from their own 20-yard line. 5:17 on the clock, all tied at 14. Single receivers and the I formation. Trojans hand off to Herbachik. Stutter steps in the backfield, but he's going to be corralled as a loss of about a yard.
They're trying to run that lead isolation play over the right side of the offensive line, and from the right side of the defensive line, Landon Green was coming around the corner there, and Herbachik thought about cutting it back, but he saw Green there and said, never mind, I'm going to follow my guy anyway. And big Bailey and those defensive linemen did a great job of stuffing it at the point of attack.
All tied at 14, 4:45 and counting down here in the Etchuan, Texas third quarter. Trojans with the football, 2nd down and 11. Single receivers, but it's going to be Herbachik, and he's got a big hole. But finally will go down after about a 6-7 yard gain.
And I think it was Goolsby got him low, and then Mondo Reyes got him up high there. But sure don't like him kind of getting that head of steam rolling there.
Well, I had a big hole to work with, but got met by the secondary.
The Yo defense kind of shifted over to the right, and he kind of cut it back to the left. So that was kind of a recipe for disaster. So we might have averted some disaster there.
4 minutes left in the quarter. It's going to be a 3rd down and 4. Herbacha gets the toss around the right side, but he's finding little running room that direction, and he will find no gain, in fact.
I tell you, the left side of the Yo defense did a great job right there stringing that play out until they could get all the help they needed to get Herbacha on the carpet.
Well, we'll see what happens here. It looks like it should be a punting situation for the Trojans. 4th down and 3. 3.5 minutes left in the quarter. We've only seen the Trojans punt once tonight.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they don't punt it away here as deep as they are in their own territory. Got Goolsby and Brazil back deep to receive for the Yeomen.
Both standing at the 35, as here's a good snap this time. And here is a good punt, fielded at the 40-yard line. Breaks through the first tackle, now comes back towards the near sideline. Up across midfield, the 45 of Troy, then will be hit and rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, great job by Goolsby there fielding that punt. It was kind of an end-over punt. It wasn't a real good-looking kick, but fielded it between two defenders and then narrowly escaped them and picked up another about, almost 15 yards there on the return there. Great job by the little freshman. I love the gusto of getting it and taking the chance to go there.
Houston Astros, by the way, in an update, have forced Game 7, winning over the Tampa Bay Rays 7-4 tonight.
How about them Astros?
The other game, the nightcap, is Atlanta leading 2-0 over the Dodgers in the 3rd. Back here in Troy, it's Yo football, 1st and 10. 3:06 on the clock. They've got the ball in Troy territory. It's a 2-back set for Zeinert looking to throw. Lets one go deep, and he had a man. That ball is in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Spikes.
Man, he had Spikes there on the post pattern, and Spikes turned on the jets, but it looked like he just kind of didn't kick it into high gear quite soon enough there, and so ball off his fingertips there would have been an easy walk-in touchdown.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Yeomen. Still trying to find some offensive rhythm, especially here in this second half. Game is tied at 14. 2 receivers to the right side, and it's a 2-back set again for Zeinert here on 2nd down. They'll hand the ball off for Keyshawn Johnson, makes a move in the backfield and cuts upfield, and he will pick up 6 yards on the carry.
It's a play we've had a lot of success with last week against Academy, and earlier on that last drive, we had a lot of success with that play. So they really kind of overplayed it, and so Keyshawn wisely found a gap there and cut it up the middle for the nice gain.
About 2.5 minutes left in this quarter. It's a big 3rd down here for the Yeomen. Still in a 2-back set. And they're going to hand off again for Johnson. He's going to fight his way forward up near the 1st down marker, but I think he's going to be shy.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be just about half a yard short there. Again, same play by the O offense. And I tell you, Brett, the way we're running that play, man, I might would run it till they stopped it.
It's going to be 4th and 1 for the offense here. Interesting to see what they decide to do here and what the play call will be. 4th and short. Offense stays out, coming up inside of 2 minutes left in this Atchison, Texas 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to that right side, and it's going to be a keeper by the quarterback, and he's got enough as he will run forward for 3 yards.
Yeah, just kind of a quarterback sweep that play there. We're getting a couple backs out in front of him, making sure we picked up the 1st down, keep the drive alive.
Leona moving the football fairly well between the 20s. Right now, but we're bogged down in their first possession in the Bling Box Boutique red zone. Now trying to make up for that with trips off to the right side, one alone to the left. As Zeinert looks to throw, steps up, takes off, running across the 30, but tripped up, and he'll go down. Picked up 4 yards on the carry.
Yeah, I think he was trying to maybe hit Spikes or bind him deep again there, but the protection kind of broke down a little bit there, and so nice job by Zeinert getting up there and making 5 yards out of nothing.
He looks like he could lay down and pick up 5 yards.
Yeah,
he's tall.
Yeah, he's a tall, rangy kid. You're right. He could fall forward for a couple yards for sure.
So 2nd down and 6 now for the Yeomen. Trips were off to the left side, but it's a handoff, trying to find a hole around that left side. Little running room, but still manages to sneak forward for a couple or 3 yards.
Yeah, and Keyshawn doing a great job again on that. That was actually kind of a counterplay. He had backside guard and tackle pulling for him there, leading him through the hole. And so he didn't get in a hurry there. He kind of got in their hip pocket and just followed him up there and got as much as he could get.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the Atchison, Texas 3rd quarter. All tied up at 14. 3rd down and 3 facing the Yeomen. Three receivers go to the wide side of the field to Zeinert's right. One man alone to the left. Zeiner with one to his left to the backfield. And Zeiner going to keep this one. Trying to go around that left side. Got maybe a yard or two.
Yeah, the same play they ran to get the first down a minute ago. And picked up a couple, but he needed about another yard and a half to get the first down. So it's going to bring up another 4th and short for the Yeomen.
Well, that's going to end up as the last play of the Etchuan, Texas third quarter. So we did not give away any free barbecue in this quarter.
Man, I feel so bad for Miss Lawson.
So no free barbecue here tonight. We head to the fourth quarter here in Troy. This game is tied up at 14. It's a defensive affair between these two. Fourth quarter coming up. You're listening to Yo Football at 105 on the Ranch.
There's something in your home's air this fall. Feel it? It's the perfect air that comes from reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. There are savings in the air, too. Cox's Heating and AC is offering $13.50 in rebates, plus payments as low as $132 a month on a new Lennox system. To rethink your air and learn more, call Cox's Heating and AC, 254-697-4252. For great products, big savings, and perfect air, think Cox's Heating and AC, your local Lennox dealer. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. License number TACL B009432E.
Our fourth quarter here tonight in Troy. We're all tied at 14. The Trojans and the Yeomen, of course, locked in an epic battle here tonight. What would you expect? Nothing less, right?
Yeah, I mean, we expect it to be a battle for sure. Just not a low-scoring battle.
Yeah. Well, our fourth quarter tonight as we get underway here, brought to you by the Yo Athletic Booster Club, supporting the Cameron Yeomen on and off the field. You can become a member and join the Booster Club. They meet Mondays at 7 p.m. Where are they meeting now?
I believe we're being back out at the Country Club this week.
All right. So at the Country Club.
No, I think it's back at Bob's Steakhouse again.
No,
I'm sorry.
We're not rotating now?
Yeah, I
got it.
Had some misinformation. I'm sorry.
We'll get it figured out. Yo Athletic Booster Club brings you the fourth quarter here tonight as Yeomen have the football. They are at the Trojan 22-yard line. Now moving right to left. Going to be a handoff on 4th and 1, and he is going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage. And let's see if he got enough. It's going to be close.
It's going to be real close. The Yeomen are saying they got it. Troy's saying we don't.
Sure looked like he got it up short, but he may have got it on second effort. We'll see where they mark it.
Yeah, I thought we were short watching the play myself, but where the ball is marked,
that looks like
got
that's
a chance. Yeah.
See what they do.
I think they're going to call officials timeout for measurement here.
So on 4th and 1, Yeomen elected to hand the ball off to Keyshawn Johnson, who took it forward. Looked like he got stood up short, and then may have picked it up on second effort. We'll find out right here. Here comes the chain gang.
Yeah, it looked like Troy had about 12 men in the box there. You only get to play with 11.
And they will stretch it out. And the Yeomen are short. Short by what, half a foot?
Yeah. 6 to 8 inches there probably.
So the Yeomen come up short on 4th down. That'll be a turnover on downs. Gives the ball back to the Trojans. And it'll be Troy football, 1st and 10. And they'll have it at their own 22-yard line. This game tied at 14 here in the Yo Athletic Booster Club fourth quarter. 11:52 left in this ball game. Trojans come out of the I formation. They sent a man in motion. And here is the play to Urbachik, who made the first man miss, got into the secondary, and picked up 4 yards.
Man, I saw something right there I'm not sure I've seen all season long. Colton Barber was in the hole and just missed. Young sophomore middle linebacker's done a great job all season long, but our Boccia kid just was too much for him on that play right there.
Inside of 11 and a half minutes to go in the ball game. It's going to be a second down and 6 now for the Trojans. The deep back is Urbachik. He's alone. No lead blocker here, but it's to the fullback on the trap, and he is going to go nowhere with this one, to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Yeah, the Yeomen have seen enough of that play that I think they've got it recognized that they're not getting anything out of that anymore. Big battle out here between the wide receiver and Iverson Brazil. Receiver trying to block Iverson, and Iverson just kind of threw him to the ground.
I'd like to point out that Hunter Martin, the fullback, is nearing double digits in carries.
Wow.
Did not see that coming.
Not at all. You know what, Brett? It's 2020.
It is 2020. 10:40 to go in this ball game. Tied at 14. Shotgun formation this time for the Trojans. They're going to roll to the left, looking to throw on the run. They'll dump one off. That ball's caught. And then he immediately goes out of bounds. That's enough for a first down, though. First completion of the night for the Trojans.
Yeah, Jay Schmidt on the drag route there. And I think that was Armando Reyes was trailing him just by a step there. Needed to be another step forward.
So after the first down by the Trojans, 10 minutes, 30 seconds left in the ball game. This game tied at 14. To come on for Troy. Racing to the huddle, now breaking. And coming to the line. One deep back is Urbacek, single receivers to each side. And it's a handoff to Zach Urbacek, who powers his way forward for 2-3 yards. Still on his feet, got 4, I think.
Barlow did a great job there stepping up and filling the gap. He wasn't the one that made the tackle, but caused Urbacek to have to bounce where another Yeoman was able to be there to clean up the mess.
Coming up on 10 minutes left in the ball game. Still knotted up at 14. Second down and 6 again for the Trojans here. They elect to go to the I formation here. Quarterback under center. Checking things out in the backfield now. Hands to the fullback. And he's going to dart forward to get to the 45-yard line and be about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, 3rd and 3.
And again, Urbacek flying out of the backfield there, trying to draw our eyes away from what they're doing with Martin up the middle there. Martin's 11th carry. How about that, Brad? That may be a career high for him.
I mean, it might be. So the Trojans here on 3rd and 3. And the I formation, sending a man in motion. And here's Urbacek bouncing around the left side. Broke through the first tackle, but got only a yard after that.
Yeah, somebody, you can't, it's hard to tell because it's kind of just a sea of humanity in there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got an arm on him quick and slowed him down.
Well, there are some large bodies on the Troy offensive line that make it difficult to see.
For sure.
They have got some size on the line. 4th down and 2 here for the Trojans. Punting has kind of been an adventure. I think I understand now why we saw them not punt much in the first half.
And they're bringing on the punt team here, but this might be an area where you might see a fake out of them. Wouldn't be a shock in the least.
Only one deep for the Yeomen. They're looking like they don't think this is going to be a punt, but it is going to be the long snap, and a punt's going to be high and short. Yeomen have to get out of the way of that, and it will take a Troy bounce near the 20-yard line, and that's exactly where it will end. So, get the Trojans to punt here with 8:14 left in the ball game. It's all tied up at 14. Yo offense will take the field here. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. And this game is really stalled offensively here in the second half. Neither team has found success really inside the 20-yard line.
No, it's been one of those things where people, teams have been able to move it up and down the field a little bit, but once it's gotten to the red zone, that bling box red zone, it's stiffened up.
So 1st and 10 for the Yeomen, and it's going to be the handoff, trying to find that left side, but that hole closed in a hurry, and he goes down, lost a yard.
It's the same play we were running to Johnson the last couple series so successfully. We ran to Bynum that time, but Troy really kind of got after our offensive line right there. We've got to do a little bit better job with our offensive line.
So 2nd down and 12 now. 2-back set for Zeinert, flanked on either side. He's going to throw this one out quickly. That's going to be caught in the flat, makes the first man miss, and then he's going to spin down and go pick up 6 yards on that catch and run. There is a flag down, though.
Quick little swing pass to Goolsby again.
That will be against the Yeomen holding. That play will be negated and back the Yeomen up offensively. Yeomen have had trouble getting started offensively here in the second half. It just feels like they moved the ball fairly well in spurts and then bogged down again.
Yeah, and Troy's done a good job of preventing the big play here in the second half too. That's what we kind of hurt them with in the first half a couple times, and they've done a good job of preventing it here so far in the second half.
Well, pushes the Yeomen way back. Looks like it'll be at the 10-yard line. which makes second down and 20. Two receivers to the left side for Zeinert looking to throw. He's going to go that way, and that ball's well overthrown.
Yeah, trying to get Hemphill on the go pattern there. Overthrew it a little bit, but definitely a good thing to see Farrell back out there on the field after not being able to put any weight whatsoever on his football go whenever he left the field with injury.
So a third down and 20 for the Yeomen now. 7:21 to go in this ball game. The score is tied at 14. The offense sends out trips to the right side and one man alone to the left. There's one man in the backfield with Zeinert. Quarterback takes it. He's going to carry this one around the left side, but he will go down after a short gain, and it'll be fourth down for the Yeomen, who are pinned deep.
And I think the coach is just trying to get a little bit of extra breathing room there for the punt team to be able to come onto the field. Pretty unmakeable down in distance there, fourth and about 20. So get us out of the shadows of our goalposts as much as you can so we can get a good kickoff here on a punt.
It is a punting situation for the Yeomen. Zeinert, the punter, will stand at about his own 2-yard line, and a very dangerous return man stands at about midfield. That is Zach Urbacek. The Yeomen have kicked away from him so far tonight. Trojans go for the block, and they're going to get a good kick here as Urbacek backs up, circles under it, spin move there at a 45-yard line, tries it again, but this time will be drugged down and slung down.
I tell you what, you'll never see better punt coverage than you saw at a Zachorian Spikes right there, because Urbacek is extremely dangerous with the ball in his hand in the open field, and Zachorian just put him on the ground for a no return right there on that punt. So outstanding job on the special teams play there by Zachorian Spikes.
Gives Troy the football from their own 47-yard line. About 6.5 to go in the ball game. All tied up at 14. Trojans offense hits the field here. They're going to be in the shotgun with 3 receivers set. And Urbacek gets the handoff, backs out of the line of scrimmage, and then goes down, but he'll get credit to the line of scrimmage.
Great job there by Fabian Solomon, the linebacker there, reading the play all the way and just not letting Urbacek get anywhere.
So coming up on 6 minutes left in the ball game. And a 2nd and 10. Here for the Trojans. This game has moved quickly, but felt like it's also gone slowly. Yeah. That makes sense. Urbacek in motion. Quarterback instead going to keep this one, I believe, and he'll go forward for 5 yards.
Yeah, kind of faked Urbacek on the speed sweep right there. Kind of a zone read type play. Quarterback picking up some nice yardage there. But Kason Goolsby come up from his free safety position there and just kind of like a missile and taking the quarterback's legs out from underneath him.
3rd down and 5 now for the Trojans. Urbacek is the deep tailback, single receivers to each side, and it will come to Urbacek. It's the first man, then immediately goes down after a 2-yard gain. Right now, Yeoman doing a yeoman's job of tackling number 21.
Yeah, doing a good job on the young man right there. Bringing up a 4th and short here on our end of the field. Got to think they're probably going to go for it here. Be shocked if they don't.
It is 4th and 3 from the 46-yard line. You got to think that's what's going to happen, although we may have a timeout coming.
Yeah, I think Coach Porter's going to let the play clock run down and call timeout here.
Well, while we're waiting on that, let's get to a stat update brought to you by McElrath Motors in Cameron. And some of the numbers for Cameron, we've got Pharrell Hemphill, 3 carries, 57 yards and a touchdown. Keyshawn Johnson has 8 carries and 49 yards. Receiving-wise, Zachorian Spikes, 1 for 37. And you've got Hemphill, 2 catches, 29 yards. The touchdown is from Fabian Bynum. He had the touchdown catch for 21 yards. All right, we do have the timeout. It's 4:33 on the clock, all tied at 14. And the Trojans facing 4th down and 3 from the 46-yard line. What are you expecting right now, Coach Kenny?
You got to put the ball in your best player's hands some kind of way. They on about a 4th and 3 earlier in the ball game. they tried to put him out in the slot and tried to throw it to him on a quick little out pattern, and we read it right, perfectly and hammered him. I don't know if I'm them, if I would do that again. I think I just, he's my workhorse. He's my guy. I mean, I think I'm just going to hand it to him and let him try to run it up the middle like they've done pretty much all night long. I mean, he's averaging over 3 yards a carry. So, why wouldn't you do that again?
Averaging over 6 yards a carry, in fact. 32 carries, 198 yards for Zach Urbacek. 4th down and 3. Trojan offense is on the field. Yo fans across the way starting to make some noise. So are the Trojan fans here on this side. 4:33 left in this ball game. Tied at 14. Big 4th down right here. And it goes to Urbacek. Around the right side. He's going to be enough on second effort to get across to the 40-yard line and enough for a first down.
Man, Brett, we had him for no gain in the backfield, and it was fixing to be yeoman ball, but second effort by that young man just willed his way to a first down.
Coming up on 4 minutes left in the ball game. And this is a 14-all game between Cameron and Troy. No back right now, but now Urbacek goes in motion. They'll hand it to the fullback as Hunter Martin now breaks through, and he is off to, with one man to beat, but finally drugged down at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, that's it. They've run that play several times where, they're using Urbacek as a decoy there. I thought we had kind of had it figured out there the last couple of times they ran it, but he found a nice little gap there, and luckily I think we were able to get him on the ground before he crossed the goal line.
3.5 left in the ball game. One man deep in the backfield. As single receiver to each side for Troy. Trojans hand on to Urbacek, but he's got nowhere to go this time. Throws a man out of the field of play there, but ends up going out himself.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a hold on the Trojans, too, at the point of attack. They're kind of out the either left tackle or left tight end. I'm not sure which one. I think it was the left tight end holding our defensive end out there who was trying to our defensive end was doing a great job of holding his contain there, and they were trying to hook him, and referee saw the hold, and so it'll bring up a 1st and 20 for the Trojans.
So 1st and 20 after the hold. 3:26 left in the ball game. Score is tied at 14 between these two. Here in this 4th quarter. Single receivers to each side. Urbacek lined up deep, and they're going to hand it to the fullback, but he'll be wrestled down in the backfield for a big loss. He's slow to get up.
And that was Gillen Reyes there with the big play. They tried to run the sweep trap to Martin. And that's a huge play, Brett, backing them up even further because, as we wind this game down with just under 3 minutes to go, they were almost in some field goal range right there because they've got an excellent kicker. So the fact that we've been able to back them up the last couple plays has been huge.
2nd down and 25 or 23, it looks like. It's going to be a pitch to Urbacek. He's going to throw it. Lets it go. He had a man open, but that ball was nearly picked off in the in-between.
Yeah, they had 2 receivers in the area, and Kason Goolsby had the under guy covered, and that's who they tried to throw it to instead of the deep guy who was actually more open, and Kason almost picked it off.
Nearly had a shot at it. Instead it goes through his fingertips, and it'll be 3rd and 23 for the Trojans. And maybe getting a timeout by the
official timeout. Oh, we got the player down here. I didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. There's a player down, so we will go ahead and take a timeout with him. We're back in 30 seconds. It's tied at 14 here in Troy. We're back in a moment.
Legacy Nursing and Rehabilitation, located at 2202 North Travis in Cameron, is proud to back the Fighting Cameron Yeomen in 2020. Good luck to all Yo and Lady Yo athletes, trainers, coaches, cheerleaders, Bell Brigade, and that award-winning Yo High Band. Most people have a story to tell. Yo Nation has a legend. Legacy Nursing and Rehabilitation is proud to say,
Still in an injury timeout here as we continue to sit here in the fourth quarter, brought to you by the Yo Athletic Booster Club. That player now walking off on his own power. That's good to see. But it's a 3rd down and 23 for the Trojans here.
Yes, Fabian Solomon was a young man injured on that play, but nice to see him walking off under his own power for sure.
Score is tied at 14. Just a couple of minutes left in this ball game before we go to extra time. Key plays coming up right now here for both these two teams.
Herbachik is split out in the slot over on the left side, so you got to keep your eyes over there for sure.
4 wide receivers set right now, 2 to each side for the Trojans on 3rd and 23. From their own 30, or from the Yo 33-yard line, setting up the screen. That's going to be to the fullback, and he will make that catch and then end up picking up about a 5-yard gain, but it brings up 4th down and still a long way to go for the Trojans.
Nice job by the Yeomen there, really limiting what the Trojans were able to get. Looks like the Yeomen are going to call a timeout right here, preserve a little bit of clock on 4th down.
Well, they will have 2 remaining. There's 2 minutes, 8 seconds left in this ball game. And as the Yeomen take a timeout, it's 4th down. What do you expect here from the Trojans?
I mean, it's
4th and about a mile.
Yeah, it's 4th and 17. I mean, you still got to. My thought is, Brett, you got to dance with the one that brought you, and that's number 21, Zach Herbachik. And so, if I'm Coach Ronnie Porter over here, I'm just going to hand it to the young man and say, hey, get it if you can, and if you can't, our defense will hold on, and we'll try to, win it in overtime or something, But I'd be very leery of thinking that we're going to win the game on somebody else's shoulders other than number 21, Zach Herbachik.
2:08 is all that's left in regulation here. Tied at 14, 4th and 17 coming up for the Trojans. They've got the football at the Yo 27-yard line. If you're Cameron, you just took a timeout, you've got 2 remaining. You got to get the offense moving.
Yeah, that's for sure. Of course, first thing we've got to do is we got to get stopped right here on 4th down. But yeah, when we get the ball back, we're going to have to get it rolling quick.
So on 4th down, Trojans will come out in a shotgun formation. 2 receivers off to the right, 1 to the left. Herbachik on the field. And he goes into motion, and this ball is going to get away from the quarterback, who's just going to fall on it back at about the 45-yard line. Wow. And that is a huge turn of events.
Absolutely not a better thing that could have happened for the Yeomen right there, with them snapping the ball over the quarterback's head. And that's the thing. They got out of their comfort zone right there. They're a turn and hand it to Herbachik team. They got in the shotgun. We're going to try to do something there to maybe get the ball to him. Who knows what they're going to do. But, got them out of their comfort zone, and Yeomen, have a little bit of time for some more of that Yeomen magic that we've seen so many times over the years.
Let's see if that's what they can conjure up. It's going to be 1st and 10, Yo football, 2:02 left in the ball game. It's a tie game, and they're going to hand it off on the first play. Looking for some running room, cuts upfield, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and no gain on the carry.
Pharrell Hemphill trying to be led around the end there by Keyshawn Johnson, and Troy has seen enough of that tonight. They said no more.
Now, actually, looks like they're going to mark him for right back at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. From the Yo 45-yard line, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a 2-back set. Ziner flanked on either side as he takes a snap, looking to throw. Still looking, steps up. Now he's going to dump one off as he goes down, and that ball's incomplete.
Yeah, it's just trying to prevent the sack right there. Threw it at the feet of the running back, Keyshawn Johnson. There, preserve as much clock as possible without using another timeout.
1:19 is what's left in this game. Tied at 14, and it's 3rd down and 10 for the Yeomen. They got a huge break on a failed 4th down conversion by the Trojans. Set them up in perfect field position, but so far have yet to have anything to show for it.
Yeah, definitely got to get going here for sure to have a chance to win this ball game in regulation.
Another two-back set here for the Yeomen. Two receivers off to the right side. As Zeinert looks that way. He's going to throw that way. Got his man right at the first down marker, who's immediately going to go down after picking up another yard or two. And it's a Centex Auto first down and moves the chains.
Really nice in pattern there by Zachorian Spikes. I'm not sure I've seen him run that pattern yet this year, but outstanding job by Spikes on that, and a good job by Zeinert delivering the ball right where he needed it.
Clock running inside of a minute left of the ball game. Yeomen have the football on the Trojan 43-yard line. Three receivers off to the left side. Zeinert looking that direction. Now fires to the right. Got a man over that direction, but that ball's going to be incomplete, I believe.
Yeah, trying to hit Spikes deep, but number 4, Steve Jackson, had excellent coverage position on him there, and Spikes really had to turn into a defensive back there and go over the top and kind of just knock the ball away to prevent the interception.
So second down and 10 from the 43 of Troy. Tied at 14, 47 seconds, all that's left in regulation. The offensive unit trying to get some noise made, waving their arms to say, hey, let's make some noise here. Second down and 10 coming up. Yeoman fired incomplete on first down. Now sending trips off to the left side. Zeinert goes that direction. Now down the middle of the field, looking for a streaking receiver, in and out of his hands.
Wow, Brett, man, that went right through, well, I wouldn't say right through Zachorian's hands, but he definitely had a chance at it. Great effort by Spikes right there for sure. Just trying to, throw it out there as far as we can and let our best player, run out there and get it.
It was, I want to say, was that sure looked like 21 that was on the coverage.
Yes, it was. Yeah, he's back there playing, kind of a free safety type spot right now, trying to prevent anything, from anyone from getting behind him.
I would sure like to see those two in a foot race.
We'll sell some tickets for that.
40 seconds left. Third down and 10 for the Yeomen here. Trips were off to the right side, but flags here stopping this one.
Yeah, I think one of our linemen rocked out of their stance a little bit early there,
making it a little bit more difficult for Cameron as it backs them up. Pushes them back closer to midfield from the 48-yard line now for the Yeomen on third down. 3rd and 15. 37 seconds on the clock. That's all that's left in regulation here in Troy. All tied up at 14. Trips to the short side of the field for Cameron here. Zeinert looking to that side. Now he's going to hit from the blind side. Ball comes out. Yeomen looked like they tried to fall on it. I think they did.
Yeah, he got sacked there from the back side. He didn't see him coming from his blind side and fumbled the ball when he did. Luckily, I think it was Eduardo Gill was there to fall on it to preserve the possession for the Yeomen.
So it'll be a fourth down for Cameron and a punting situation, and not a lot of time left on the clock. Less than 20 seconds to go in this ball game.
Yeah, definitely a punting situation here, Brett, with a fourth in McLennan County.
Well, 18 seconds. They've actually added time back to the clock. 21 now is what they say. So 21 seconds is what is remaining in this ball game, and it's a fourth down for Cameron.
Of course, we want to make sure here again that we don't kick it to Herbachik at this point in the ball game. I know Spikes did a great job on him the last time. I would sure kick it towards an out of bounds line somewhere here, whichever way he's leaning. I'd kick it the other way out of bounds.
So 21 seconds till the end of this regulation. Tied at 14, punting situation for Cameron. Herbachik will be the deep man, standing around the first down to go marker at about the 30-yard line. And here comes the punt. That's going to be a low line drive. It takes a bounce inside the 30-yard line. And it'll stop with about 11 seconds left to go. So that's where the Yeomen will down it. 11 seconds is all that's left in regulation here.
It'd be interesting to see what Troy does here. I would think that they're just going to hand the ball to Herbachik and see if, he might be able to break free one time. But after the debacle of their, last play attempt, whenever they tried to go shotgun, I'd be shocked if they tried to do that down here at this end of the field.
All of 11 seconds left in this ball game. Tied at 14. 1st and 10 for the Trojans at their own 28-yard line. Herbachik, the deep man. 3 receivers off to the right side. 1 alone to the left. But it will be Herbachik who gets the call. He's going to cut back to the right side and got about 4 yards on the carry, but that should be the last play of regulation.
The Trojans going to call a timeout and get them one more attempt.
That they do. That'll be their final one of the half. So 4 seconds left on the clock as Troy was able to sneak in a final timeout. And now they're adding more time to the clock. 6 seconds.
It's going to make one snap. I'm not sure what difference it makes. 4 seconds, 6 seconds at this point in the ball game. But
so tied at 14. Looks like we're going to get one additional play here before the end of regulation.
Yeah, they got one chance to win it right here. We got one. We got to stop them one more time and then see if we can win this thing in overtime.
Herbachik double checking the shoelaces on his shoes. He's been down tying them up.
When I was coaching baseball, we had a tie your shoe play. That was a trick play.
Well, he's lined up at the 25-yard line now. Single receiver for Troy as Herbachik gets the football. And he's going to find a hole there, but spins out of it, and then it eventually goes down at the 45-yard line, and that will be the final play. So we are tied at 14 after regulation. We're headed to some overtime football. Free football.
Free football, that's right, yeah.
Free football. With that, we will take a short time out as well. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to Yo Football on 105 on the Ranch.
In sports, as in cars, everyone loves a great drive. Centex Auto is dedicated to bringing you a great drive every single time you get in the car. Whether you're listening to the game or you're behind the wheel, when you need a car, go to the Buy Here, Pay Here dealer, Centex Auto. Check out both locations in Temple or visit them online at centex-auto.com. As you listen in on this great drive, remember that Centex Auto is a proud supporter of all Central Texas athletes.
So 2 coaches, of course, meeting at midfield as they decide how to handle this overtime. 14 all here in Troy. This has been a defensive effort here by both of these two teams.
Yeah, two pretty high-octane offenses held to 14 points each. Not what I expected coming into this golf ball game for sure. I would say probably not what hardly anybody expected.
Well, I have not seen where things will start here. Looks like it's going to be on the north side.
Yeah, north end down towards the scoreboard.
So from the north side, two teams will trade possessions here. Here in overtime, tied at 14. And of course, this would come down to overtime between these two. Two of the top teams in the district needing extra time to sort this out. It's been a well-played game from both sides when you look at it, with not a whole lot of penalties. There hasn't been a lot of chippiness.
Yeah, very few penalties. Been a lot of smash mouth football, but and as hard hitting, as physical as it's been, I haven't seen any jawing or any of that kind of stuff. So well-played ball game by both teams.
So Troy will have it with the first possession here in the first overtime. Herbachik is the deep man. He gets the football. Now backs up. Now cuts his way around the left side. And he picks up about 5 yards on the carry to the 20-yard line.
Good grief, Brett. We had him in the hole twice. And twice he out of the hole, readjusted his angle, and went again, and took a no-gain play and made 6 yards.
2nd down and 4 for the Trojans this time. From the 19-yard line. Score is tied at 14 here in the first overtime. The Yeoman sent a man on late in a late substitution. Under center, it's going to be the stretch play to Urbachik, who's got enough for a first down and near the 10-yard line to the 12.
Yeah, the Yo defensive line is really starting to look a little tired there. We're going to have to really buck up right here, try to prevent a touchdown in this first overtime period before we can get the ball and see what we can do.
It was enough for a first down, so 1st and 10 for the Trojans now from the 12-yard line. Here in the first overtime. Trojans moving at will right now. Single receivers to each side with Urbachik lined up about the 20. He's going to get the football left side untouched into the end zone.
And he just found one of those gaps, Brett. And, from the 12, he doesn't have to break far.
So 20-14, the new score. See what the Trojans elect to do here.
Yeah, they've been lining up and swinging gate every time they have scored, but again here they're going to bring on their outstanding little extra point kicker that they've got.
So trying for an extra point here in the first overtime would make it 21-14. Kick is up, and that's got plenty on it, and it is good. 21-14. And so the Yeoman will get a chance to answer.
Have to answer if you want a chance to win the ball game.
If you want a chance to win,
have to answer here and try to win it in double OT.
So 21-14, first overtime. Trojans have scored on their possession. Yeoman will have a shot from the 25, and the offense will especially need to get moving now. Yeoman have kind of been stagnant, but I guess inside the 20s for most of the night. They've scored on some big plays. Been able to move the football between the 20s, but once they've reached that Bling Box Boutique red zone, had some issues. And really just kind of bogged down here in the second half altogether.
Yeah, and be heading towards the north end zone again, towards the scoreboard here.
Trailing by a touchdown here in the first overtime. It's a twin back set here for Cameron. 2 receivers to the left side. Yeoman may be changing the play right now. Zeinert approaches the line, checking the sideline. Making some changes, barking out orders. They will stay a 2-back set. Twins to the left, 1 to the right. First down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Zeinert's looking to throw. Dumps this one out and dropped by the tailback.
It looks like it was going to be a screen there, but he had to get rid of the ball a little earlier than he wanted to, and the back wasn't quite ready for it. He hadn't really turned his head to look for the ball yet. So
there's a player down for Troy.
Yeah, Trojan player down on the turf over near where the ball was thrown.
So we'll see what happens here. We may be taking an injury timeout with him. In fact, let's do that. Let's step away for 30 seconds. Yeoman trailing 21-14 here in the first overtime. We're back in 30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Jason Donalik from EBCO Development. For more than 25 years, you've been able to find EBCO Development in the phone book. How many other companies are still listed along with us? It's a good question. Check it out and see for yourself. So why take chances? EBCO Development has been there for you since 1984. Quality remodeling, new construction, roofing, and more. That's EBCO Development. Call us first at 254-697-2186. 697-2186.
Back here the first overtime. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Cameron Yeoman. From the 25-yard line. Trailing by a touchdown here in this first overtime. 21-14. Trojans took the first possession. Immediately drove down and scored. Yeoman now trying to return the favor. Twin receivers to each side as Zeinert takes the snap, looks to his right. Nice pocket, clean, gets a pass off. That's going to be caught and should be close to a first down. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, it's that same play we ran a while ago to Spikes, and he got the first down on a while ago, where the inside receiver is running deep and he's running an in pattern underneath him. It's kind of different than we've done throughout the season. We've had a lot of times throughout the season we've taken our outside receiver and ran him deep, and the inside receiver running out underneath him. It's just kind of flip-flopping their role.
So 3rd down and 1 in the Bling Box Boutique red zone at the 16-yard line. On 3rd and 1. That'll be a handoff around the right side. He's got enough for that first down as he gets across the 15 to about the 14-yard line.
I thought Bynum might have a chance to score on that play because there's a little gap. And then there was a defender was pursuing him there. When he did it, the guy kind of caught him in the hips and just really knocked him off his feet.
Gilman trailing by a touchdown here in this first overtime possession. 21-14. 1st and 10 for Cameron in the Bling Box Boutique red zone. Ball's at the 14-yard line. On 1st and 10, Twins to each side. Zeinert takes a snap, but he's looking to throw. Looking left, goes that way. That ball caught by his fingertips, and he goes down at the 9. That's a catch right there.
Yeah, that's a heck of a catch by the little freshman, Kason Goolsby, on the real quick little out pattern there.
So 2nd down now at about 5 here for the Yo offense. Got to have a touchdown and an extra point to extend this game. Yeoman can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Yeoman have a twin receiver set off to the right side. There's an up back to the left side. Quarterback going to go that way. Fighting his way forward is Zeinert. He'll lay down after getting close to the 5, down to the 4-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 there.
Looks like it.
Just kind of using your backs as lead blockers there, and you're really just using your quarterback as a running back right there. Just a lead play over the left-hand side of the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd down and 2 from the 6-yard line. Yeoman have the football, needing a touchdown and an extra point to extend this ball game. Twins to the right side for Zeinert. Looking that direction, he's going to throw. That ball tipped and incomplete. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get Spikes out on the corner of the end zone there, but it was batted down at the line of scrimmage by one of the big Troy defensive linemen.
This could be the ball game right here. 4th down and 2 for the Yeoman. They take a timeout. That is their only timeout of this overtime period. Yeoman trailing by a touchdown. And this could very well be the ball game right here, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4th and 2. You've got to get the first down or load the bus and go on home, And so, you got to come out with whatever you think is maybe your best play right here. A lot of times people talk about, you got your 2-point conversion plays, and that's what, you need about 2.5 yards here, which is nothing more than a 2-point conversion. Yeah. But it's not necessarily a 2-point conversion type play here. It's what is your best play? Run what your best play is, whatever you think that might be. If you think that's, for a situation like this, if you think that's big Keyshawn Johnson just, barreling in there, do that. If you think it's, Zeinert trying to hit a receiver out in the flat or across the middle in a gap, do that, or if you think it's, getting Zeinert running the ball behind a couple of backs, do that too, whatever you think is your best play right now is what you've got to do.
21-14 is the score. Trojans are out in front here in the first overtime. The Yo offense facing a 4th and 2 from the 6-yard line. Do or die time for the Cameron Yeomen right now. This is the ball game on the line. Needing a score to extend the game. They go to a 2-back set. Single receivers for either side. And it looks like the Trojans jump off sides. It's going to be the handoff. He will get across the 5-yard line. It should be enough for a first down without the penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be close without the penalty, but the penalty is going to give us the free first down there. So,
assuming, of course, that was an offsides call.
Yeah, if it would have been a procedure call, they would have stopped the play. So it's got to be encroachment on the defense. Yep.
So that is a huge save as the Trojans commit a penalty on 4th and 2, which gives the Yeomen some life and gives them a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Will they give it to him at the 4?
It's about the 3.5, I think. It might be right at the 3. It's always hard to tell at this angle.
Yeah, 1st and goal from the 3, I believe. And it will be the quarterback rolling. That ball's tossed into the end zone. Touchdown, Yeomen.
And as Keyshawn Johnson kind of snuck out of the backfield there, we faked that handoff to Bynum, and they were rushing him hard, but they had nobody there for Keyshawn after he kind of faked his block there.
That means we're going to see a Cryer Collision extra point try. Point after try coming up here. Yeomen will need this to extend the ball game. This is a critical spot here. Snap is bumbled, but the kick is up, and it is no good.
Wow, Brett, man, that's tough right there to lose the ball game that way. Had snap kind of rolled back there, didn't get back there cleanly, and Randy Flores struggled to pick it up and get it down on the tee, and Martinez, valiant effort there trying to get the kick up and through, but just missed it, I believe, wide right there, and so
nearly
overtime,
snuck it through.
Yeah, overtime loss 21-20 to the Trojans. 2 in a row for Troy against the Yeomen.
So the Yeomen will fall here tonight in overtime. 21-20 is our final score. Let's take a 60-second timeout. We'll come back and talk about this one and get ready for some stats. Again, the Yeomen falling here tonight. 21-20 in Troy to the Trojans. We're back in a moment.
Heating and air conditioning. We all expect it to work. When it doesn't, don't call any heating and AC company. Call Temple Heat and Air, your full-service AC and heating company. 254-771-1012. Locally owned and operated since 2001, you'll see the difference in their personalized, safe, and friendly service. As an American Standard and Lennox dealer, you'll get the right parts and service for the right system. Get same-day service and no surprises, plus great financing and discounts. When your system isn't working, call Temple Heat and Air, 254-771-1012.
A night under the stars in huge live oaks. Craft beers and award-winning wines or casual dining in a beautifully restored historic home for upscale food. But wait, what if you could have both? You can at Central Avenue Bistro in the historic Lawrence Hubert House at 312 North Central Avenue in Cameron. Come see what is new and old all over again. Patio or inside dining for dinner Thursday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. For info or to schedule a private party, call 254-627-0083 or check their Facebook page.
Welcome back here in Troy as Yeomen stunned here on the missed extra point in overtime, falling to Troy 21-20 here tonight. And this one was an interesting game for both teams here. This one, low-scoring affair, which no one, I don't think anybody expected, and had surprising results.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have told me that there was going to be 41 points scored in this ball game, I was going to ask you which team.
Yeah.
Not that would be the combined score in the ball game. So definitely a shocker of how the game was played out for sure.
Yeah, you look at this game on the surface. We're going to get to the numbers in just a moment. I almost felt like Cameron kind of took a step back from a week ago.
Yeah, it was, offensively, we just couldn't ever get anything going. We talked about in the pregame, how we've beaten teams with the run. Last week we ran the ball really well. We came out and, we're extremely physical at the start of the ball game and ran established the run and looked just really good doing that, and so it looked like maybe that might be identity, but we've had other ball games, this season where, we've beaten teams with, through the air. And so we never really could get either one of those two things going tonight, though. And so we never were able to establish the identity we needed to be able to win the ball game tonight.
All right, let's get Josh Pratt on here, and let's get some numbers here, and then we'll come back and talk about it some more.
All right, we'll start with the Trojans here. They finished the night with 17 first downs and 333 total yards. Through the air, Jace Carr was 2 of 5 for 18 yards. All those receiving yards going to Jace Smith, catching 2 passes. On the ground, Trojans rushed the ball 54 times for 315 yards. Zach Herbacek, 38 carries for 246 yards and 2 scores. Hunter Martin, 12 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. For the Yeomen, 11 first downs on the night, 218 total yards of offense. Zane Zeinert, 11 of 24 for 143 yards passing and 2 scores. Zachorian Spikes, 3 catches for 58 yards. Casey Goolsby, 2 catches for 23 yards. For Hemphill, 2 catches for 29 yards. Keyshawn Johnson, 3 catches for 12 yards and a touchdown. And on the ground, the Yeomen ran the ball 28 times for just 75 yards. Farrell Hemphill, 4 carries for 57 yards. And Keyshawn Johnson, 8 carries for 49 yards.
All right, thanks, Josh, bringing us some numbers here. And all right, not pretty offensively. On the other hand, I feel like you look at this game, the goal was to shorten the game, limit the touches best you can defensively. That was the game plan. I feel like you did that. You succeeded in that.
Yeah, if you'd have told me we were going to hold Herbacek to, under 250 yards.
Back up even further, if you'd told me you're going to give up 21 points to Troy, that's a win.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of getting to that, but